Well, greetings.
Yeah, the button's not working.
I figured.
There it finally goes. Okay, well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Midnight's Edge in the Morning. It wouldn't be a Friday without a snafu to kick things off. We've got Mr. H joining us first, and then I think Critical Drinker's coming in after that. So welcome, everybody, to the Friday show. We're going to talk some Mortal Kombat. We're going to talk a whole lot more than that. We want to welcome the one and only Mr. H with us this morning. How you doing, sir?
I'm loving all of this. This is great. I thought it was only me that had major problems.
Well, I think
good. How are you?
I think Google just updated or something is what's going on. Greetings, everybody, and we also have Andre with us, of course.
Yeah, greetings, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
You're probably going to annoy a lot of people because you only had the Critical Drinker's name in the title. Loads of people are going, that's not the Critical Drinker. No, it's not. They didn't bother to put me in the title, guys. Sorry.
There wasn't room for it. We had like 3 letters left. I tried.
MRH. There you go.
It only takes one letter. H.
Yeah, okay, but it takes. But there's also like the full stop and the space, and that was too much. But you're in the description with a link to your channel and everything.
So, well, you can take out that Cruella DeVille crap because nobody cares.
I didn't even care about it. I watched that today and I was like, what even is this?
Nobody cares.
I thought that was the fun thing that they basically gone and made a Harley Quinn movie. I thought that was
but I don't even see what it's about. Like, I'm looking at the trailer and I'm like, okay, so am I supposed to like her? Am I not liking her?
You know what this is supposed to be about?
Dalmatians? Is this
I haven't even watched the trailer, and I can tell you what it's going to be about. It's going to be man's fault she's bad. That's what it's going to be about.
I am woman, hear me roar.
Yes.
Come on.
I guarantee you it's going to be some man pissed me off, and that's why I'm bad.
She literally says that in the trailer. I am woman.
I didn't even watch the trailer.
She literally says that.
I've seen what happens to her already.
Yeah. Well, my cat cares. So yeah, that's something. Oh, well, he only cares about Emma though, and not so much about
she's fine. I have nothing against her.
On that note, though, we have loads of people representing. So thanks for joining us from South Africa, where Duma Studios Network is. And I also saw that we had many others from many other locations here. I believe I saw Romania there or something. Oh, we have Silver Nova. From the land down under, so that's something. Manuel Patino is entirely correct about the description of me, so that's nice. And Shada Pana says greetings. Sleepy Panda says hi to everyone. Fractal Jack is here. Duck Nation is here as well. That's a pretty cool country. Sander Hammersdag says Congo, so that's as good as greeting as any, I guess. Yeah, and your Muslim uncle is here. He followed me on Twitter earlier today. Haha, I noticed. And he says hail to you, Mr. H Reviews.
Well, hail. Thank you.
And we have the Emperor of Maryland joining us, in addition to many others. Let's see if we find some other cool locations here as I scroll up. Yeah, Alex is representing Ukraine. We're so glad to have you join us. And Plani is here from the Netherlands, and I believe I also saw, Bogdan is here from Romania. So quite a very cool international connection. And we even have several people from Maryland. So small worlds or big states. Indeed. Or however you want to put it.
How many people in the chat from Texas?
I don't know about that, but we have someone from California, at least.
California? No. No, didn't you hear who's the latest one to go off the rails, Andre?
There's so many. Which is the most specific?
Marina Sirtis just attacked an entire state this morning.
Oh, Texas? Or who did she?
Texas.
What for? For being Texas?
She's blaming them for not having the infrastructure, basically, to handle this cold.
Oh,
It's
okay,
fucking
right.
It's your
Why
political
wouldn't it
leanings
have
fault,
been?
by
Oh
the
my
way.
God.
Yeah,
That's the
okay.
problem.
Right.
Idiot.
So basically, because Texas doesn't have the infrastructure to deal with cold of, say, Norway or Denmark or Siberia, then Texas has the wrong leanings.
She's getting ratioed to fuck online.
Surely it's also the other states neighboring that are to blame for not coming in and helping as well. Maybe. I mean, no, is that not part of it as well? Could that not be something that people would say? No.
Yeah, I don't know
know.
what her thinking was.
We have a Texas representing, not Tyrant Beards or something, but I meant to click that. Jesse Miller at the Crow's Nest says that it hasn't snowed there in 50 years. No, like this is like something pretty unusual there. So I think that it's very unfair to blame them for not having an infrastructure that's not designed to deal with a cold that happens like once a century, if even that.
So you can blame the UK for not having infrastructure. We're like fairly often we freeze over in the UK and everything just grinds to a halt. It's an absolute joke. So you blame the UK for something like that, but don't blame Texas. Like it's such a rare occurrence. Why would they have the infrastructure?
I thought that was funny. Like when I did my masters in the UK, then that's actually something that I heard them complain about. That why does this happen every single time? Like as long as we even have like a weather report indicating that there's a chance of snow, doesn't even have to be snow. It's quite sufficient that there's a chance that it might happen, and then all of society breaks down.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, it's a joke. Like everyone says it all the time. So yeah.
So I think that everyone should give Texas a pass on that. Really.
Again, it's not so much what she said; it's the fact that she's blaming everybody's politics on it.
Let's see what she has to say. So Marina Sirtis tweeted, Texas is the only state in the union that has its own power grid that is not connected to any other power grid. So when a catastrophe like this happens, they cannot get any power from other states like every other state can. Well, this is...
there was more to it, though, and it looks like it's been getting deleted.
Yeah.
So I think she's going after it and deleting it. Yeah, she was blaming people's politics was part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you subscribe to socialism, you'd all have interconnected power grids, and you'd be loving one another, and Texas wouldn't be able to break away if they ever needed to. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's quite smart. That they are relatively energy independent, and if you have like one crisis that happens like once a century or something, then certainly that seems to be a pretty decent system. It really does. And also, I don't think that anyone from California should be complaining because they have far greater power problems there.
She changed her tune a little bit.
All right.
Yeah,
well, that was smart of her. Because, like, on that note, like the one state that I know of, at least even from here, that has massive problems is California. Of all places, or as I see some people have affectionately called it in the chat, so I'm quoting you guys, California, where they did the amazing things of shutting down the nuclear power plants, or at least most of them, and replacing them with solar and wind turbines, which are so incredibly efficient. So
I've heard they're fantastic. That's the future, isn't it? Not?
Here it is. I found it. It's still here. There's a different tweet. I grabbed the wrong one. Don't get me wrong. My heart's bleed for Texans. Whoops. Helps my share.
I kind of doubt that, but let's see.
We're going through right now, but this mean girl in me says that the government, you get the government you deserve, and when you have voted Republican across the board for the last 20 years, that's what it was. Yeah, that's the one that set everybody off.
All right. Yeah, I see that. Is that why everyone is fleeing from California and New York to Texas? because what I'm getting
originally it was, yeah. This is like, again, I get, this is... why is she blaming people's politics on something that they were unprepared for? That is a once in a 50-year obviously thing of happening.
Because that's what happens when you suffer from a bad case of derangement syndrome.
But you can't blame the orange man. He's no longer around to blame. So
that's what I was saying before.
Well, you can try.
Hey, you can try. Do you not hear what they've actually just put into legislation now? Or they're trying to put into legislation. It's any president who's been impeached twice can't be buried. But it's like if that's the wording, then that doesn't affect Trump anyway because he's not he quitted. So
here's the thing. They need to change the wording to any president that has been impeached twice and is orange and overall very, very bad and whom we do not like. And of course, then we reserve the right to change this rule if one of our presidents one day would happen to fit that bill. Then we're ready to let this one drop. So
of course.
Oh, well, we're off to a good start then. Oh, and since we're on that topic,
get over here.
Is getting recalled, so we're going to try to leave the politics out of it.
Yes. Let's talk about Mortal Kombat.
Although to be fair though, it started with Marina Sirtis that put her foot in her mouth. So it's not that we that we went into American politics completely unprepared.
No, she's been playing mop up all morning. It looks like.
Well, mop harder. But before we get into the topic of today, we actually have
one more thing to add to already. I just got one more thing to add to the Marina Sirtis thing. Evidently, she's not busy enough. That means she must not be filming on Picard season 2, huh? She's not.
Yeah, true.
If she was busy working, she wouldn't be out there shooting her mouth off on Twitter.
Oh, I'm sure she could find a way to combine them, but
well, I know. Yeah. A lot of times, though, on sets, they won't let you have your phones anymore. So,
well, I'll be the assistant. Could you please tweet this absolute belligerent crap for me? That'd be great. Thanks.
Only an idiot would put that on Twitter. So,
yeah. Well, exactly.
Indeed. All right, before we get into the order of the day, we have a couple of super chats already to start us off with. I can no longer show all of them on screen. Sorry about that, because StreamYards really need to get around that. So in the meantime, you shall just have to listen very carefully. Dark King 616 said for $5 Australian. Thank you so much. I'm boycotting Mortal Kombat if they don't include Judge Dredd, Rainbow Bright, and the Smurfs. Canonical characters must be included. Oh, and Bruce Campbell was in Congo. Yeah, we'll get into all of the characters in Mortal Kombat before long.
And did you hear about that?
What? Congo or the Smurfs?
No. The whole joke with Mortal Kombat, what's going around? Because some idiot at the Jezebel wrote an article. Where's Chun-Li in Mortal Kombat? This whole long fucking diatribe about not having Chun-Li represented in the film. And they just got raked over the coals by everybody. And it's like, you fucking... I had to ask people, are you sure this isn't like a Babylon Bee site? And they're like, no. It's the Jezebel. This shit's serious. They had to print a retraction at the bottom.
Yeah, you have to send me this, because this is really great editorial material. I can't wait to dig into that. That sounds amazing. That's kind of like what's your favorite Star Wars movie? Like, I don't know, Wrath of Khan. It's like, oh my
exactly.
God.
It's like, I was pissed Spock wasn't in the last Star Wars movie.
Yeah, that is indeed the level of
that's a good way to start
established entertainment journalism
it's
today.
Not even that long of an article.
Well, still, that's kind of like how there's a room for people like us, then, isn't it?
When
you have the entertainment.
Poor Shannon Malerno. Who forgot to invite Chun-Li to Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Cinema is back, baby, in a big way. Forget the auteur films of award season. where two people stand on the edge of a cliff somewhere in Great Britain pining for each other but never finding a way to make their relationship work. There is a new Mortal Kombat hitting HBO Max, and life is fucking good. Scorsese is shaking his oversized spectacles watching, probably for the 15th time, the trailer for the latest film version that brings to life the gore of the original blah, 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 blah. But wait, where's Chun-Li? But being an astute film critic, she's an astute film critic, folks. I immediately clocked a glaring error in the film. Where in all the realms is Chun-Li? If there's a battle for the fate of the earth, then don't we need all of the greatest warriors gathered, which would include Chun-Li and her spinning bird kick that can knock a man's head clean off? When did she ever knock a dude's head off? That's what sounds like a pretty big plot hole to me. And the ultimate street fight is supposed to be won by a ragtag team helmed by Sonya Blade. No offense to the Sonya stands. Absence of Chun-Li.
The ultimate street fight. So,
yeah.
So this person, are you sure this isn't a joke?
No, I thought so too. But update. Jezebel has discovered the answer to our question about Chun-Li's erasure, and that it is Chun-Li is not part of the Mortal Kombat megaverse. Wow.
What website is this?
The Jezebel.
I've never heard of it. Do you not think they did this for exposure?
No, I don't know. I have no idea.
But honestly, here's
like
the thing, though. But this is something that you absolutely could do to score brownie points on Twitter. You saw like what they did, how incendiary they were like, where is Chun-Li? And then they had like the white woman implication being clear. You have a white woman doing martial arts, and Chun-Li is nowhere to be seen. This is problematic. You see there, like if that doesn't get you brownie points on Twitter, nothing will.
Oh, it got her something on Twitter, all right. I mean, yeah, professional journalism, exactly.
She was probably hoping for people to support her. And speaking of Mortal Kombat, since there's karate in it, Rob may be joining us momentarily. But yeah, while we wait for that, and before we get into it properly, we had a few more super chats to go through. So we heard then that Darking616 will not be seeing Mortal Kombat unless it has the Smurfs. And Mr. Tickletrunk sends a $2 Canadian super sticker of a cute little doggy, which I believe is Chiba Inu, and they are so cute. And Mr. Tickletrunk also says for $5 Canadian, he stabs a dude with his own frozen blood. Sign me up on this R-rated gory fun time. Yeah, fucking beautiful.
That's where I was on board. Yeah. I'm like, I was on board before that, but then when I saw that, I'm like, all right, I got to see this movie now.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. We're going to do a couple of them more and we'll get into it. And Chucksenhausen says for $4.99, gonna be honest, Mortal Kombat looks cheap with assembly line actors and bad CGI. If only they cast Hawk from Cobra Kai, this would be watchable. And I agree completely, Hawk is badass, but I'd rather not see him have his head torn off. And Tiberius Monk says, hail to the Midnighters. Thank you. And Tyrant Beard says, the Fandom Menace, here's to the win. GGKK. And Spider Unlimited says for $9.99, shoveling to the three faces of Andre, Tom, H, and Drinker. Lagavulin here to warm up. Cheers, gents. P.S. Drinker waiting for the rest of Drake audiobooks. Well, we'll be sure to ask him about that when he joins us in about half an hour. And I've been missing saying that. Says for $9.99. Hi, gents. And Freak Sheet says, Mr. H, you should introduce Tom and Andre to the Astartes series. With the need for independent creators, it's more relevant than ever. This is something you'll have to introduce us to in due time.
I'm surprised you don't know about it. It's a Warhammer guy that makes these incredible cinematics, CG Warhammer 40k stuff. It's mind blowing.
Tom, we have to get into this 40k stuff because everyone keeps going on
about
it one way or the other.
Yeah, you do. I mean, Andre will be very happy to know that 2000 AD inspired Warhammer 40k. Let's put it that way.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool.
So, yeah.
and always caught up, almost. And also says hi from Long Beach, New York. Oh, so that's where you are. Very cool. And Roger Haynes says, "Hey guys, sorry, got to cut back on the super chats for a while." Well, we appreciate the support when you can spare, and if you can't, then we just appreciate you watching. Speaking of watching, Rob has joined us. Hey, Rob.
What's going on? Tom said the magic word. It's karate. So I mean, so I said, well, I better jump into conversation here.
Aren't you upset that Chun-Li isn't in Mortal Kombat, Rob? What's wrong with you?
Let me tell you, I was so upset. Then I realized Chun-Li's not part of this franchise.
You really took you that long to realize that?
I never really played Mortal Kombat. I mean, it's like, oh, whatever. It's like,
that's all right. It's okay. I can allow you to have like a minute or two of like, oh yeah, that's right. This person and an editor and God knows how many other people that this thing went through.
Oh God!
Before it got posted.
Oh, Edward R. Murrow, where are you now? Oh, Jesus! For people who don't know who that is, which is most of our audience, he's the guy who coined the phrase "Good night and good luck, America." So,
yeah. All right, so then I believe that, Rob, you have already answered the question of how familiar you were with Mortal Kombat to begin with, since you clearly didn't play the games. But Mr. H, how about you? What does Mortal Kombat, the brand, mean to you? What history do you have with it?
Not a massive amount. I used to play it back on... I can't remember what it would have been now. It would have been PS1.
Well, the good version would have been on. Well, I would say the original would have been on Sega.
Yeah, I might have played it on Sega as well. I think this is years and years and years ago now, so I'm trying to remember. But yeah, no, I mean my knowledge of it isn't massive in terms of like experience on it, but I mean I do love it. Just as I used to. It's one of those as a game. It's one of those games that you can just sit down, pick up, and have a good play around. I like the lore. The lore is actually really expansive, and a lot more layered, I think, than what most people have. The sort of rudimentary knowledge of it with Outworld and the sort of each stage of an evil guy and a villain has someone above them, and then above them and above them. The newer stuff, I never really got into the newer stuff. Like there's MK11, is it now? I think MK11 was that the latest one?
Yeah, I believe
so. I never got into that, but my that's sort of my basic knowledge of it all.
Yeah, Tom, how about you?
Oh, I mean, I was there at the initial launch. I mean, it was Mortal Kombat was probably the only game that came close to like a Mario game. Like at the time when it came out, like it just sucked the air out of the room. Everybody was playing it. Arcades, you had kids lined up. And then I remember it came out on, Sega and Super Nintendo. And, all the kids wanted the Sega version because the Super Nintendo one didn't have no blood. And half the fatalities or whatever. But yeah, and I mean, I played, of course, Mortal Kombat 2 was even bigger than the first game, I think, if I remember right. And then the movie came out right around that time. And of course, I was a big fan of the original film. Can't say shit for the other ones because they're crap. But yeah, I mean, I played various ones after that. I've got the arcade, but I haven't got it put together yet. So yeah, I mean, I've always been a pretty big fan of it. Of course, love the soundtrack from the original, and the song was always a big hit from when I was DJing back as a kid. So, oh yeah. I mean, Mortal Kombat just kind of was there. It just showed up and it just never left.
Yeah, and my history is actually quite similar to yours, with the exception that we don't really have arcades in Norway that way. But as I always say, with like when it comes to like game stuff like that, with like The Last of Us and all of those things, whenever someone comes up, am I familiar with that? Then my first question is it on the Sega Mega Drive? No? Well, then I'm not familiar with it. Obviously, Mortal Kombat was on the Sega Mega Drive. That's Genesis to you guys in the US. So obviously, I'm very familiar with that. I loved the first game. I skipped the second game guess I didn't really discover Mortal Kombat until like the time frame between the second and the third game. So the first one that I lent the first game from a friend, and the first one that I got myself was Mortal Kombat 3 for the Sega Mega Drive, which was made infinitely much better by the new release of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, again for the Sega Mega Drive. Now, that's my favorite fighter game of all time. I haven't played any other since. I haven't really paid attention to the lore, but again, then you get into like PlayStation and PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 and like all that 3D land and stuff. So then it's like too advanced for me. I did play the Sub-Zero game. I do have that somewhere for the PlayStation 1. I don't think it was nearly as bad as it's made out to be. But yeah, very, very big fan of that franchise as it was back in the 90s. I fell out of it completely since, but I do have those nostalgic memories. The first movie is awesome. Second movie, not so much. Although I will say that the recasting of Sonya Blade was far better in the sequel than in the original. And I even saw the TV series from the 90s, Mortal Kombat Conquest.
Yeah,
which was like weird. It's like meant to take place in like 10,000 years ago or something, and people have like modern clothes and everything. So yeah, fairly big fan of the franchise, and this movie is something that I was looking forward to right up until we heard from the script doctor that the writer behind it generally doesn't do good stuff without him having seen the script for this in particular. But then we saw the trailer, and to me this looks fantastic. So let's get into that. Rob, have you seen the trailer?
Well, you didn't ask Rob about Mortal Kombat.
Well, I did. Well,
you
actually, he kind of like
yeah, I did. Yeah. I was more of a Metal Gear Solid sort of Tenchu,
okay, yeah, no, I remember
stealth
that now.
gaming
Okay.
fan. Yeah, I mean sports gaming fan. So I mean,
yeah,
I've seen the trailer. I'm like, and the part where Sub-Zero stabs Scorpion. I think that's the guy's name, with his own blood. I was like, well, that's particularly gruesome. So
the arms being ripped off of Jax, that wasn't gruesome. Come on.
That was yeah, that's kind of like, yeah. I'm like, boy, they went all out on this apparently. Spared no expense. So hey, if you're, I'm sure. Hey, listen, I'm not about to begrudge what somebody likes. If that's the kind of thing you're into, great. I'm glad you're going to enjoy it. I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe not for me, but okay, fine. If you want to,
it has karate though. It can't.
It does have karate, but full disclosure, Rob doesn't like horror films.
Nah, not so much. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't call this a horror film.
No, I know, but the gore part of it, I can see where you'd be turned off.
I'd call this more of a splatter kind of film. This is a modern splatter film.
I can absolutely see that. So yeah, but anyway, Mr. H. So how about you take us through it then? What did you think about the? Actually, before that, because Mr. H, you're going to have a ton of things to say, so we'll save you for after. Tom, your thoughts?
I didn't go into the trailer with like extremely high expectations. I mean, I've been retweeting out the characters posters that they've been putting out in the Twitters. And yeah, I thought it was okay. I like a lot of people are like, oh, so you had to change Johnny Cage into this MMA fighter and all that kind of stuff, whatever. Outside of that, I saw the trailer and I'm like, this looks pretty damn good. I loved all the cool action sequences we got to see. We got to kind of see Scorpion, before he was, what he is now, and most of the characters are there, so I'm on board. They all look good. I do understand the one post we had earlier where the comment was talking about, I could see this from a point of view of looking like a fan film in a way. It does have some elements of that, so I'm not totally like sold, but I mean, it looks really good otherwise. The effects look pretty good, and coming from me, I'm not a big fan of CGI blood, and this is probably some of the best CGI blood I've seen in a while. And some of the shots here, again, until I actually see it in the film, though, and without it being all cut up, because you can hide a lot in a trailer, as we've learned. But when it comes to this being from the writer of Wonder Woman 84, I think a lot of that falls into Patty Jenkins' lap, probably. This is just Mortal Kombat. I mean, it looks like they're doing exactly what we always say to do. Just do the story. Don't try to add a bunch of crap to it. And, it looks for the most part like they're doing it pretty straightforward. And I'm curious to hear what Mr. H has to say about it.
I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Like, I went in thinking it was going to be absolute garbage. Like, genuinely, I thought it was going to be absolute garbage. I did another tweet today saying, look, I always admit when I'm wrong. I went into it thinking it was poo-poo magoo, but I was blown away. And it has no right being as good as it is. It genuinely looks fantastic. And I get the criticisms of, it looks a little bit fan-made. So what? Who cares? Like, epic, cool. Some of the best products of franchises are because they are fan-made. Some of them are just, they are some of the best. I'm all in for this. And I tell you what, this will rile a few people up, don't care. This gets me much more hyped. Like, I wasn't on board for this at all. I'm so on board for this. And by comparison to something like bloody the Snyder Cut, by comparison to this, I'm so excited for this. Couldn't care less about the Snyder Cut. What a boring trailer. This, yes, please. Give me all of this. Yes. Like, delicious. Num. Please. So good. Costumes, outfits, epic. Yes, people are saying about the Cole guy and stuff like that. I've looked at some of the leaks. It makes sense because there were some leaks from I'm not going to say anything. Don't worry, guys. I'm not spoiling anything in the chat. But it makes sense. So don't worry. A lot of people are like, well, who the fuck is this guy? No, it makes sense. Just wait. There was a test screening recently, which also indicates that they changed a lot from the script leak, which came out, because a lot of people keep saying, well, the script's garbage. They've actually changed a lot of it as well. So they've taken their time to refine it quite a lot. It looks epic. Goro? Didn't Goro look cool? Oh, God. Shao Kahn? Statue of Shao Kahn? Oh, I'm all in. Yeah.
I mean, the so CGI that I saw in this, I was fairly impressed by. So
we get the backstory, Scorpion's backstory. Well, when he wasn't Scorpion. Mm-hmm. So good. Jack's arms exploding. And the effects are actually good. Because I remember I did a live stream with Andre. Me and Andre were talking about it, and we had had some of the images up, and we were like, oof, some of this effect looks a bit garbage. This might be crap. The effects in motion look solid. I don't know if you've got the picture. There's some of the stills have been revealed of Scorpion surrounded by flames, fully resurrected. Looks epic. Looks really good. I'm really, really on board for this. Very happy with it. And again, is this going to be an Oscar movie? No, of course not. Doesn't have to be. This is exactly what it needs to be, I think. I'm all on board. Massive. Yeah, good. There you go.
Andre, are you still with us? No, I think he had to step away.
Okay.
I mean, I agree with you. I hold out a little, just in case it's not that great. But I mean,
we all know it could be garbage. Of course, it could be garbage.
Right.
But from the trailer, I love the look of the trailer. The trailer was great. But
I was very impressed.
It goes without saying. When people are like, oh yeah, but it could still, we know it could be crap. Of course, it could be crap. But as a trailer, and I'm talking about the trailer itself, it looks great.
Absolutely.
They've done what the trailer should have done, which is sell the film to me. By comparison, a movie which has already come out and has not done very well, Justice League, I don't care about watching that film again. That trailer did not make me want to watch that film again. This, I want to watch it. I'm all in.
Yeah, all I could find was a low-res version of the pic you're talking about. So
what? They've released it all over the place.
Maybe I'm not typing in the right thing on Google.
Let me send it to you.
Yeah, do that. It'd be easier. But yeah, no, I'm in the same boat as you, Mr. H, on this. Like, because I mean I was a pretty big fan of the original film. I went to see it in theater opening day. Actually stayed for the second show because the guy didn't care.
in your Twitters.
My Twitters. All right.
I've got loads of them. I've got loads of these, and I'll send you them all. They're so good.
Nice. Yeah, the one I found was all cropped off and small. This is much better.
Even Jax looks cool.
Yeah.
The effects of the shotgun shot being frozen, solid. So good. Again,
what's going to be sad is if Jax looks better than Cyborg because they have similar kind of, with the cyborg arms. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. But this, we'll have a look, won't we? We'll see when it all comes out and it gets released. But the effects, it was great. It was. I was very, very impressed. I was, anyone that comes to my channel, like I've done a few videos on it, and I was like, nah, it looks like crap. Like, whatever. I'm not interested. But the lighting on that looks great. It's like CGI fire effects, but look at the orange lighting that they've shone on his face. With all the sort of blues. It looks so good. Yes.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job from what I saw. And Scorpion's probably my favorite character of the original bunch anyway. So I mean, that's the part I'm looking forward to most is the Scorpion and Sub-Zero fight.
And just all out, martial arts war, like a film that, this film might be, I tell you what, so this film doesn't look cheesy bad, right? Like I watched some films, I watched, what was it called? Jiu-Jitsu, right? That's a garbage film. So bad. Yeah. Not even bad, it's funny. Like it's just a terrible film. And that has lots of fighting in. And I really like hand-to-hand combat movies. It's something which I think a lot of,
was that Nick Cage one that's basically a rip-off of Mortal Kombat? Yeah.
And also Predator as well.
And Predator, yeah.
Yeah, terrible film. Awful. Not even so bad it's funny. It was just a shit film. Don't watch it. And basically, what I'm trying to say is this looks like good. Like lots of hand-to-hand combat, but it looks like it's going to be good. I want to watch hand-to-hand combat movies. I want to watch this kind of stuff. I like this stuff.
Well, normally I'm not a fan of video game films in general because I'm one of those where I'm watching one and I'm like, I'd just rather pick up the controller and play it myself.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Mortal Kombat was one of those that when I saw it, like I said, the story kept you interested. It's a pretty simple idea.
Did you see the other images I sent you?
Let me see.
I sent you another 3. So you got Jack's arms there. You got Kano. You fucking beauty.
Fucking beauty.
The accent. And then the shot image. Get the shot image up because that's such a good effect. That looks so good. Again, who'd have suspected that was going to come out as good as it does? Well,
I mean, this movie kind of came out of nowhere to begin with. Because I didn't even remember hearing about it until.
You have no what's going on with you?
I didn't like the picture for some reason. Hang on.
No, you don't say. The error 404
sort
of reveals that.
Yeah, I didn't like the picture. So I'm just going to save it. There we go. Do it this way. Oh, my computer's acting all wonky this morning. I had a black screen forever. Lucky I got in here.
Someone would be proud of that, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Now I got it working.
Like that is great, and how it all comes out in slow mo, and it's so good, epic. And he's just like, what?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, most of the shots I saw in this, I agree. Like, I mean, they could get worse if, like, we see him in full motion. That happens from time to time. But no, like, we didn't have any, like, indications, like, with Wonder Woman or that kind of stuff where we've seen some really bad CGI in that.
Do the picture of Jax with his arms, because I'm very impressed with the arms. I am genuinely really impressed that they got the arms to look as good as they have for this.
And welcome, Paulie. How you doing?
Good day. I'm can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I sound weird. Anyways, in my own earpiece.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing all right.
No, you sound fine to us. So.
Good. Yeah, the power went out here in this part of LA yesterday.
Look at the arms. Yes.
Have you seen this Mortal Kombat trailer yet,
I
Paulie?
did. It was amazing. I loved it.
Like, don't they look cool?
Yeah, they look much better than cyborgs.
Yeah. Well, mainly probably because they're graded properly. Like the color grading's done really well on them, so they blended it quite nicely. You know, you're not going from like, yeah, obviously he's black. You're not going from black to bright silver. You know, so it doesn't look so. The contrast doesn't look quite so, startling between the two.
Well, not only that, it doesn't, like, that's the one thing I think you pinpointed exactly, Mr. H, and that's probably a director's eye catching that, is that's what's wrong with Cyborg right there. Is you have all this dark, dingy surrounding, yet he's like shining like he's standing in the sun all the time.
It looks like someone's polished him. It looks like the Parademons polished him.
Like C-3PO at the end of the first Star Wars, yeah.
Don't worry, mate. I'll get out my DA polisher. Don't you worry about it. Like, what?
Yeah, he looks too clean, too shiny. This looks right. Yes, I agree.
And the picture of Kano. I think that's the only other one I sent you, wasn't it? Yeah, get the picture of Kano up there. Can't believe we get to see Kano actually using his eye in the trailer. So good. I think a lot of people are really annoyed that they're like, oh, but they showed too much in the trailer. It's like, yeah, but guys, if they didn't, I don't think people would be on board. I think a lot of the Mortal Kombat fans would be like, nope, hate it, go away. They've shown nothing. They've shown nothing of what's going to be in the film. I think they had to show as much as they did for people to go, oh, actually, it's, they've done really well here.
No, I agree with you. And welcome, Critical Drinker. How you doing this morning?
What's up, everyone? It's a pleasure to be here.
It's your evening. I think we lost you. You were there a second. Hello?
That's all right. Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you. There you are. Welcome.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to be here, man.
You're coming at the right time. You can say, what a fucking beaut.
What a fucking beaut.
I love that shot. That was awesome. Did you guys happen to see the trailer yet?
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks great, man. I put a tweet out about it earlier. It's like, man, I'm sold on this movie. It's got everything I would want in a Mortal Kombat film, and it actually looks like it's kind of semi-competent, like the way it's been shot and everything, but it also knows how ridiculous it is, and it just completely embraces it, and I just love that.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to have something to look forward to for once, too, as well. So that's great. But yeah, welcome. We're glad to have you here. Obviously, we're talking about the Mortal Kombat trailer. We got a couple super chats that came in. I'm going to grab a couple of those here while we're waiting for Andre to come back. Edward Pereno sent in $4.99, says, Mortal Kombat, fight. I need to have the 95 version. Speaking of the music, did anybody else pick that out in the trailer?
Yes, I was waiting for that. I was waiting if I could talk about how they and hello, Critical, and hello, Mr. H. I love.
I've actually got to duck out. Sorry to be rude.
Okay, no problem, Mr. H. I know we only had you for a limited time. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, anyway, hey, Critical Drinker. Hey, everyone. Bye, everyone. Peace out.
Take care,
hey,
Mr.
man.
H.
Bye, man.
Tag team.
Right?
But yeah, the music. Yeah, you were saying, Paulie.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant because you could hear the old theme song in the new music, and it was so cool. It was so cool. It was almost like a score.
You guys are like the response to the theme song from the movie, but I know that music from like when I watch the Knicks and they go on offense, they play on the house organ. That kind of fight. Yeah,
that's where they fell from.
Exactly.
I'm more
Mortal
familiar
Kombat
from that,
theme.
Though.
It just screams like mid-90s action.
Yes.
It's just that banging sort of techno beat. It's great.
Oh, when I do Mead Radio, that's a staple. Actually, I'm willing to bet that's probably the most played song on Mead Radio. If I went and looked, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, and just like what he said, that's like so mid-90s. That over the
I
top,
played the hell out of that thing in
driving
the dance
beat,
clubs, man.
Yeah, but they did. It was like a Critical saying that everything about this was equal parts. Over the top, silly, badass, great sound, great effects, and the effects that they had with the arms, they just looked blended in. I loved it on the chest, the blend in of the silver into his natural skin. That was crazy.
I think in terms of the character design and stuff, it all looks really good. Like Sub-Zero looks awesome. You've got Jax there with the metal arms and everything. Sonya Blade looks good. Like, I mean, Liu Kang even looks good. So yeah, like I'm pretty pleased with all of this stuff. Goro, yeah, Goro's there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cool part is like they didn't deviate too much. And that's the thing, like you can update and you can make it look cool. You don't have to deviate that much from the original design. And I mean, really, I mean, they did deviate quite a bit from that, but I mean, the video games have gone way farther than what they were originally when they originally looked like. So, I mean, but they managed to keep the style. I mean, you look at it and you know it's Scorpion. You know what I mean? You look at it and you know it's Sub-Zero, and that's all that matters. And that's what's cool to me is they didn't go crazy with any of the designs. I mean, yeah, they're more closer to the newer video game designs, but that's fine. I got no issues with that. The only other issue I had was the whole Cole thing taking away Johnny Cage, but I also understand to a point. I don't know if you guys have any comments on that, but yeah, you were going to say something, Drinker?
No, it was just kind of echoing what you were saying there. Like, I hope, and it really seems from the trailer, like they understand what made the Mortal Kombat games so compelling in the first case. It was the ridiculous over-the-top gore effects and the finishing moves and all that stuff. And it seems like they've kind of embraced that in this trailer. And yeah, bring it on in that case. Just want that's kind of what you would want from a Mortal Kombat movie, just something way over the top, like really gory, just something that embraces its ridiculous video game origins and just runs with it and doesn't give a shit. And that's hopefully what we're going to get with this. So I'm all in with it.
Yeah, I mean, if there was any complaint I had for the original film, was that I don't know whose decision it was besides maybe Robert Shea's to go PG-13, and clearly we know why. But it was just like, why didn't you do like if there was ever a movie that should have kicked off the unrated DVD market, it should have been Mortal Kombat. They should have, but they never filmed it that way, I'm sure. But now we finally get it, and that's what's cool. That's the first thing I thought when I saw the trailer too, is like, holy crap, they're actually going full on R-rated. Like I was expecting more PG-13 like the original films.
And the thing is, once you've crossed that line, like once you've decided, okay, it's going to be an R-rated movie, nothing needs to hold you back then. There's no point showing any restraint. You might as well just go all in with the gore effects and everything because you've already gotten that R rating, so you can't walk back from it. So hopefully they understand that.
Yeah. And you were going to say something, Paulie?
I lost my thought. But I can tell you that our brothers in South America, Geek Tropology, he's saying in Spanish that this looks tremendous.
Oh, awesome!
They're super excited. So hail, Geek Tropology.
Even though I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat fan, I can recognize that this looks like what would have happened if you keep evolving the characters, through each iteration. Yeah. And I think that's sort of the point. I'm like, yeah, that's not what the natural evolution of it would be.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying is throughout the games, now that we're on the 11th game, like, the characters have evolved.
There's been 11 games? Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Actually, probably more than that, because I don't think that counts the Sub-Zero game and all the other spin-off games.
I mean, if you think like the original Mortal Kombat came in like 1994, 95. So you're now like 25 years later. Yeah, they've had a lot of time to keep churning these out.
Even been 93. Really have.
It might have been. Yeah, you might be right.
Because for some reason I remember going from like Ninja Turtles to Mortal Kombat. It was just like there was like no transition. It was just boom.
I mean, I remember playing it on like the Super Nintendo or something. So that's got to be early 90s.
92 says Pinhead. That seems more right to me. Yeah, because I was like to say, because like I just remember it coming and it was like it just totally like every kid was like, oh, Mortal Kombat. It was everywhere. Like that commercial was so accurate. It's kind of scary. The one with the kid screaming Mortal Kombat, and you got all these people coming out for the Mortal Kombat 2 game. Because I remember that day we had Mortal Kombat Day. I can't remember what they actually called it, but they brought it out on a Tuesday, and it was at the time, if I remember right, it was the biggest selling game ever at that point. Maybe the only one that was bigger may have been Mario 2 or 3, but I don't know. I can't remember. I remember Mortal Kombat being huge that year, though.
Oh yeah. I kind of remember everyone talking about it. And I just remember everyone doing the sayings from it, like flawless victory and, finish him. Fatality.
Well, that's here. That's the cool thing about the music was that song came before the movie even. It was off the game.
Yeah.
It's the first time I remember a CD that they did a whole soundtrack for a game that didn't really exist, kind of thing.
And that they weren't afraid to use it also in the movie.
I know, and that's the best part is when that opening kicks in with that fire, and it's just it was just everything you can imagine as a kid going to see a Mortal Kombat movie, aside from the blood. That was the only thing missing. You know, so we got the Super Nintendo version of the film.
Yeah.
But what an emotional response I got when I saw the red the red warning, the banner at the beginning.
Yeah, that's what Jesse was saying. Yeah, the red band trailer, you got giddy because you're like, oh shit, yeah, they're going R-rated.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to see fairly big movies that are still prepared to come out R-rated because it's kind of a rare thing nowadays. Everything's kind of toned down and sanitized so they can appeal to the biggest audience possible, and you lose a lot because of that. It becomes kind of dull, and it's never going to go that far. So it's great that they actually took the step with this. So yeah,
it's nice to be reminded that they're thinking about us, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Edward. And yeah, I hope they do have the original version of the music in there, but we already know we got the grand orchestral version in the soundtrack already. So I love it when they do that though. Like that's one of my especially another great example is when they integrated the Spider-Man theme into the newer MCU version of the Spider-Man. I love that. When you got the little Spider-Man playing under the little,
Are you talking about
version?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love it when they do that. Like they just mix, there's nothing wrong. And that's what I said, because we got in this huge debate last week about Zimmer's music in the new superhero movies. And I'm like, I don't like it. One thing I did like about the new Justice League that Joss Whedon did was that they had Danny Elfman do the music. And that to me was a plus because you got to use he used the Superman theme, he used the Batman theme. I loved it when he played those into the themes.
Come on, Tom, really? Come on. You don't enjoy blah?
No, I don't.
Every 5 minutes.
No, I said this is and I shit you not, this is the Superman theme. It's 3 notes. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. That's all the Superman theme is now.
Remember the first Man of Steel trailer promo, whatever it is, they use didn't they use the music from Lord of the Rings?
I don't remember. I'd have to go look. They might have.
That was pretty cool. And then they used basically. Then that next one was like a kind of 2 or 3 keys on the piano. Doo 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 doo.
Tom, Tom, Hans Zimmer is a genius. I will not have you disparage the man who scored The Critic, okay?
His old stuff's great, Rob. No kidding. Yeah. His older stuff is amazeballs.
Like I said,
I don't know what happened.
You went from The Critic to that, to blah.
He did the Rain Man score. He's done some great shit.
I don't know if it's just a result of what became kind of the fad in Hollywood. At the time, and it's like, if you get these big moments, it just seems really dramatic.
Yeah, he got that from doing the Nolan films, I think.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. I'd have to go back and listen, but yeah, all of a sudden you get these just bombastic scores. And I remember watching a behind the scenes thing where he was making the music for Man of Steel, and he's all jazzed up about having a whole buttload of drummers together at once, and I'm just like, what are you accomplishing here? I just don't get it.
You're just the drums, man.
You're spending a shit ton of money for no good reason.
Yeah, what's weird though is when you hear the theme from another film in a different movie, Wonder Woman 1984 did it, and it had suddenly the theme from Sunshine, I think it was at one point.
Zimmer does that all the time. Yeah.
It's what the fuck are you doing? You're just, it's like someone just made a bootleg video of it and they just put any old score they could find.
That's what I'm saying. They did that for the Man of Steel, the first trailer.
Well,
So,
Yeah.
we don't have our music done yet. Let's use Lord of the Rings, Howard
Yeah,
Shore.
Ollie, that's normal. Actually, that's nothing.
No,
new,
yeah,
but,
sure.
But like, I will
I'm
say
saying
this:
I enjoyed that more than what was actually done.
I will say this in Zimmer's defense, as far as reusing music, that's not new. Like, you can go all the way back to like Jerry Goldsmith and stuff like that. He'd do that all the time. Like, there's so many times where he just reused so many pieces of his other films, and a lot of times because back then nobody would remember it, you know. But now it's days when we have people who watch movies so many times, so often, you can pick it out real easy. It's like, and even Andre did. He's like, I know that's the music from Justice League or whatever, and the one shot in Wonder Woman, and we're like, oh yeah, it is. You know, so like you get that more so now when I find it. I guess I don't think that there's as good of an excuse now to do it as there used to be, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, Hans Zimmer's my Hans Zimmer moment is the Miami Vice TV show theme.
Yeah,
that is incredible.
And then Script Doctor points out that much of Hans Zimmer music from The Dark Knight is used with editors during their early cuts. Yeah, that's probably why it sounds the way it does. I got those soundtracks. I mean, and that's the thing. I could tell you what they are if I heard them, but I couldn't distinctly tell you the certain tracks probably or certain moments like I could other scores because they're just so generic.
Thunderstorm there, who just put a super chat up, said, "Why would anyone change the Superman theme?"
That was my argument.
It's perfect. It's the perfect theme for Superman. You don't need to do anything to it.
Well, imagine
if they'd leapt in with it at one point in Justice League. You know, it just full on Superman.
They did in the Joss Whedon one, but
Drinker.
It wasn't. It was still a modified version of it, though, wasn't it? It wasn't like the classic theme as I remember.
But Drinker, that's like all olden stuff, and yours that's a boomer. You just want nostalgia, and like it's not made for you. Don't you know that's not made for you? Don't you know
like
that?
Everything has to be postmodern and deconstructed because I was literally shaking. Yeah, it's just the problem is like I'm fine with creating modern themes if they're actually fucking good. The problem is most of them are just like generic flat garbage that just does nothing for me. Whereas you get the Superman theme and bam, you're straight in there. Like it just gets you fired up the moment you hear it.
Michael Giacchino, he's really good at he's really good. I mean, a lot of his stuff's kind of average, but he does pretty good work. Alan Silvestri, man, I'm like, why don't they get him for every fucking superhero movie? I mean, there's a guy who, I mean, you can, what do we always say, Tom, about Captain America: The First Avenger?
Well, I don't think, it's one of the most underrated superhero films. Yeah.
But that
Joe Johnston was the director,
but that ending, that theme at the end, when you hear da, 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 you don't even have to know who Captain America is. You could have never heard of Captain America, but hearing that, like, okay, this guy's a hero. You just know. It just hits all the right like emotional cues and everything. And like Alan Silvestri, the guy's brilliant. Everything, Back to the Future, the Avengers, Captain America. I mean, everything. Everything is identifiable. I mean, he scored the brilliance of Back to the Future. He scored Back to the Future as if it was an adventure movie, and in a certain sense, it is. Yeah.
No, I would agree with you on that one. Silvestri's scores are excellent. Can't really fault them, to be honest.
Please get him to do a Star Trek movie, please.
I believe that he was the one who did like that Avengers tune and also like the Marvel Studios logo.
That's
wasn't
what
that so?
Rob was saying. Because it's all based on the Captain America.
On that note, greetings, Drinker and Polly. Sorry to be.
So in other words, Andre's back, and Edward got the most money I've ever seen out of a $4.99 super chat ever because we spent 20 minutes talking about the soundtracks.
If I could say one more thing about soundtracks, did we like that Superman Returns brought back the John Williams music? Was that the only good thing about that movie?
I don't say that's the only good thing, but I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
I think that movie had a really good heart. You know, they were really trying to continue the spirit of the Christopher Reeves movies, and Brandon Routh kind of looked like him, and it was all there. It's just like the world had kind of moved on since then, and the way his outfit was styled and everything. It's like, okay, it's a little bit dated now. I think you need to move things on a little bit, but like the score is still fine. Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I'd argue with Superman Returns, we would have probably liked the sequels better. Because that's the thing with, Superman Returns was reestablishing the world. And the ideas that they had to go, that they were going to kind of move on with sounded so much more interesting. And
they tried to, right?
Yeah.
They really tried
to.
to.
Too bad they didn't move on right away then. That they had to
I got it. I agree.
Reestablish
I thought that because it's a third of a good movie. The rest of it is just wasted fucking filler junk.
Well, the casting was a little odd, right? It was uneven. For me.
Yeah,
I didn't like the Lois Lane.
I think Brandon Routh did his best with the role. I think Kevin Spacey was a pretty decent Lex Luthor. As for the rest of them, not so much.
It was funny, like with Lois Lane, and like it kind of like looked like kids cosplaying as adults.
Yes,
a little bit.
She was miscast completely. They should have got Amy Adams then. She was actually up for it then too.
And she was age appropriate for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And then they brought back the Marlon Brando stuff, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah, they did.
That was awesome.
Which was fine with me because that was the thing is you didn't need to redo everything. That was the problem with the film was they had the right idea, but it was like you still are reestablishing too much. You need to have Superman do some shit. That was the problem with the movie.
Well, he did lift that whole
no, he needs to punch some shit, not instead of just the ground.
He did save that space shuttle.
Yeah, you had the scenes where the guy was firing the minigun at him, and it's like the bullets are bouncing off him and stuff.
Honestly, that was the highlight of the whole movie. Like when he was shot in the eye and the bullet bounced off his eye. That was the coolest thing about that whole movie.
Just
cool.
be glad
this would be a good candidate.
Joel's in a bagel.
Yeah, just be glad. I think I can play Jarrell as a bagel.
I genuinely wish they'd made the Nick Cage Superman movie.
Oh, me too. It would have been
glorious to finance that.
Right?
Have you heard the rumor that that they for the Flash movie, the one that's going to like bring open the DC multiverse, they actually want to bring in Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Oh, do it. Please do it.
Wow.
Yeah, do it.
Man,
but like the old footage that they filmed or now?
No, not now. They're going to like pretend that movie happened because there's so many people who know of that.
That's the great thing.
Never happened. So they're going to the idea.
Crazy alternate universe that movie did happen, and it would be a great universe to live in.
Well, it almost feels like it did happen.
Yeah. We heard this from Andy Signor, so I have to give full credit to Andy Signor.
Well, that's been around for a while, actually, but yeah.
That's where I heard it then, so maybe it's been a while around, but I heard it from him. So basically, like the rumor then, who knows what's going to happen, but like AT&T, they want to bring everything, and they want everything to be part of like the multiverse. And then the idea then is that the Nicolas Cage Superman, that's later on in the Burtonverse. So that's the Superman that Michael Keaton interacted
did you see the other rumor making the rounds? Go ahead, Critical.
No, I was going to say, because it was going to be Tim Burton who was going to direct that movie originally. So, man, like what might have been. But yeah, it would all have to be new footage of Nick Cage because I don't think they ever got beyond like costume testing in that movie.
It could be the older Superman.
I was going to say they got up to like, I think they were literally like days from shooting when the movie got shut down.
Wow.
Yeah, they had sets built, costumes built.
Yeah, I saw
all kinds of stuff done. Yeah,
and pay or play contracts. So
that's why Superman Returns was so expensive, is because of that movie.
Yeah, Nick Cage got $20 million for doing fuck all. It's amazing.
Y'all are more of an Earth protector.
Nice.
Yeah.
Earth protector.
Yeah, that would have been something. But moving the conversation along, because then I take it that you were
only got through one Super Kombat
music. Yeah, the next one is one that I really want the drinkers' take on. So that's actually pretty perfect. Silver Nova said for $5 Australian. I just thought I would mention KK's Oscar video about women in the film industry. In the words of Mortal Kombat, fatality. Drinker, what were your thoughts on that whole thing?
Yeah, because it got like 100 upvotes and something like 5,000 downvotes.
I think it was like 10,000 downvotes. Even.
Yeah, totally. And then they shut it all down. So, I mean, it's weird because the Oscar channel on YouTube is like a dead channel, essentially. It's got like 2 million subscribers and they get like a couple of thousand views per video. So clearly it's all fake subscribers anyway. But yeah, this video just shows the depth of hatred towards Kathleen Kennedy. The fact that like so many people were just taking a dump on it, and it is understandable as well. When the news came out about her being personally involved in firing Gina Carano, you can't help but understand people's annoyance with her. So yeah, like if I was the guys at Disney, I would take a very long look at that video and just think, God damn, it seems like 99.9% of people in the world hate Kathleen Kennedy. Maybe we need to do something about this.
Indeed. Paulie, your takes on that?
Well, I feel that we kind of like did it. Like we're the ones who and I would say you guys, but I was there along for the ride. Got that thing going the other day, right?
Well, I think Heel versus Babyface put a comment on. It was like, you're a complete hypocrite. Like, we stand with Gina Carano or whatever. And that became the top comment within like a matter of hours.
Yeah.
And it just completely snowballed from there. And, well, there it is.
Well, just to go with
what
what
was
you
referring
said,
to is that he was like on live on the previous installment on Midnight's Edge in the morning. And that's when this whole thing erupted.
And I commented Wednesday critical as to what you said, because I went while we were just having a laugh at all the KK comments. I go, let me look at these other videos, and then I noticed, and like you said, there's like barely any likes, barely any views, practically no comments. And then I saw this really famous Mexican actor talking about global movie day, something really horrible and lame. And I'm like, in Spanish, there's all these comments just ripping him. I mean, how come they're not taking those off? I mean, those are like really bad. I think they're still up.
You've got to protect her. Like she is probably the most protected person in Hollywood. And it doesn't matter what the outlet is. Like obviously, if she ever puts out any kind of interview or video or whatever, people will pounce on it, and everyone will move heaven and earth to defend her and avoid the criticism, because you can't have it. And it kind of makes me wonder, like, how long can you keep dodging it before it catches up with you?
And there's like some level of irony to it as well, because here she's like talking about strong women in technical fields and yada yada yada. Just as obviously this was filmed a while ago, but then this comes at the same time as she just fired the strongest and most independent woman in all of Hollywood.
Yeah,
so
it's basically like
timing.
Yeah, we support strong women as long as they say and do exactly what we want them to do. That's what her entire philosophy amounts to. So clearly, I guess Gina didn't, and she paid the price.
Yeah, and it only goes to show the hypocrisy, doesn't it? That
100%.
Yeah, we are all for women who are have them be as independent, as strong as possible, as long as they do what we say and stay with our script.
Yeah, that's the problem with strong people. You see, they don't always do what you want them to do.
Exactly, and that's also the thing with good people. They're gonna act from their conscience first, and not necessarily from the script.
Yeah. So yeah. Just a complete joke, and like I say, it really shows the depth of feeling on this matter. And I just hope someone at Disney takes notice.
Oh, they will. We are working on a video about that. We have like some information about the response within Disney, and I'll give a spoiler from the video that is to come. Their phone lines are burning hot, and their email servers are collapsing, and none of it is good news.
Good. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, her contract is up this year, is it not? So
it is up, yeah.
So theoretically she could be out this year unless they decide to renew it again.
Yes, that is entirely right. Because what we always heard before is that Disney had no intention of renewing her, and she was okay with that for as long as she had somewhere else to go. But in the light of everything being shut down now, including Hollywood, like those other opportunities that she thought that she had waiting for her, they apparently are no longer there. And for that reason, she may not want to go. And if they then fail to renew her, well, then just as the Gina Carano situation, it might look as though they fire her. Now, of course, since they already fired Gina Carano, they kind of like opened the door of firing women. But still, that's going to be real awkward for Bob Iger and Bob Chapek in all of the cocktail parties within the industry. It's going to be real awkward with all of the people they know that they have in common and everything like that. But at the same time, they also have to answer to their shareholders. And the shareholders are increasingly going to say that, you know what, this woman here, she's really mismanaged this. We need someone else. But at the same time, if Kennedy has threatened to burn the castle after her on her way out the door, if she's made to leave before she's good and ready, then who knows exactly how the chips are gonna fall down. They kept her this long. I wouldn't be too surprised if she's renewed again. We'll see.
She's kind of done that already anyway, because you fired Gina Carano, you have created nothing but animosity from the fan base towards like the one show that they have that's actually successful and popular now. Like who's going to want to watch Mandalorian knowing what's gone on behind the scenes at this point? And it's like Pedro Pascal seems to be kind of an iffy prospect as well, whether or not he's going to come back, because he seems to have had a lot of issues with the show. So
yeah, all the rumors that we heard, and also everyone gave like the beyond the like Grace. Everyone gave her flack for her scoop, which coincided with the Doomcock's narrative. But it was all true. There's absolutely issues with Pedro Pascal. I do not know the detailed nature of those scoops, but we know that he went on and worked with that Last of Us or whatever it is. I don't know. It's not on the Sega Mega Drive, so I'm not too familiar with it.
Yeah, if that goes into production, I'm not sure how far along. Yeah, I'm not sure how far along they are at this point. But when it does, that's going to be a big gig, and I cannot see him doing 2 shows. And I can't see him laboring away on a show like Mandalorian, where you don't see his face for like 95% of the time.
Well, of course, he can be a voice artist, of course, but that's probably what it's going to amount to. And that's kind of like what he's doing right now. He's basically a voice artist for 2 other men who are actually in the suit.
Yeah.
So that's like the only way that I can see it continue. And again, this is exactly the same thing that Doomcock actually reported, that they were able to resolve the Pascal situation by him basically being free to do other gigs. All he has to do for The Mandalorian going forward is voiceover work and show up on set like that one day a year when they need to film his face. This seems more likely now.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's just a question of how much of an impact this has on like the interest in The Mandalorian and the attitude towards Disney, because like I say, that was their one and only successful show. It was the one thing that people seem to be really starting to warm to, and it was gathering a lot of momentum, and it's been effectively torpedoed with all this nonsense that's gone on. So, you have to wonder, like, where do they go from here, and what does that do to the sort of politics and the power balance within Lucasfilm? If that was Favreau's big thing that he was working on and that he was pushing forward, and it's been undermined now by firing one of the big stars of it, what does that mean for the
where they go? Is they go down with the ship. It's more important. It's more important to stay on message and to fail than it is to actually be successful. Because as I always say, there's that scene from The Godfather Book 2 where they're about to commit the little girl, all those very learned individuals from fields of psychology and medicine and psychiatry and everything, they all look at each other and say, well, if she's right, then we're all wrong. And that's what it comes down to. If we're right, they're wrong. And they will never admit that to themselves.
I mean, it used to be that Disney had like FU money with all with their theme parks and everything and the revenue that they got from that, but they really don't have that anymore. And it kind of feels like they have to be a bit more humble and a bit more receptive to what the fans want. And well, this is the exact opposite of it. And it's just a really strange situation they're getting themselves into now. Like you can't be afford to burn these bridges when you need them.
Yeah, that's like the thing here. That what essentially has happened here, I think, is that they have now eroded away all of the goodwill that The Mandalorian created. I submit that after The Mandalorian, certainly the Luke Skywalker reveal, fans were excited, willing to come back. But this just undid all of it. I mean, I don't even know how excited people are for Boba Fett right now, although that should be awesome with Robert Rodriguez as the showrunner and everything. But again, there's going to be many casualties from this, from Kathleen Kennedy's action, because what we've heard, what we put in our previous video that went up yesterday, which I do believe is shadow banned because it has uncharacteristically few views. But anyway, one of the revelations there is that Kathleen Kennedy did this deliberately to screw with Jon Favreau and The Mandalorian, to target them through firing Gina Carano, because they were just a little bit too successful for her liking. But still, the end is you take down Star Wars as a whole, because no matter how much Kennedy and her camp may hope it, the High Republic isn't gonna make up the shortfall there.
It's all right, Andre. We've got Rian Johnson's trilogy that's still in development, apparently, so that's going to be fine.
Oh yeah, well, it's all okay then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all for me rather just depressing, and I have no interest now in seeing The Mandalorian, and I'm torn because Rodriguez, you know, and to a lesser extent now with Diego, but who knows? But yeah, man, this sucks.
It really felt for a little while there, like I like the picture. Yeah, it really felt for a little while like they were starting to pull themselves out of the mire of all this social justice crap and the ideologically the messaging and everything. It felt like Kennedy was on her way out, and her group of sycophants were losing influence, and you've got something like Mandalorian, made by a guy who just was passionate about Star Wars and just wanted to tell a good story, was really starting to shine through, and it felt like, great, that's exactly the direction they need to be heading in. They're realizing their mistake and they're putting it right, just in a subtle way, and it's really starting to come through. And boom, there you go. It can't be allowed to succeed because you don't want to have a show that actually succeeds on its own merits. It's got to be all about the messaging, and this is what we get.
Yeah, that's perfect what Tom brought up on screen there. This is exactly what we get. So yeah, good going, ruining Star Wars there. But we have a couple of more super chats. BK0271 says for 10 Canadian dollars, hey guys, there are more and more videos about Amber Heard being replaced on Aquaman 2 by Emilia Clarke. Is this true? Also, H's name is not on HBO Max's Justice League cast run. Hashtag Justice for Johnny. Well, she's in the movie, I assure you. They may not have wanted to show her, but she's there. She even filmed new scenes for it. So she's definitely in the Snyder Cut. But her being recast in Aquaman 2, I am unfamiliar with that. I haven't heard anything to that end. So I don't know. Any of you guys, have you heard anything to that end? And would you like to see it?
I mean, Emilia Clarke's a strange choice to replace her. Like, no offense to her, like, as much as Amber Heard's a horrifying monster of a person, like, she's pretty hot, and she's quite, like, statuesque, and I just couldn't see Emilia Clarke, like, stepping in and filling her shoes.
I call Emilia Clarke the killer of franchises. I mean,
she really is. It's such a shame because, like, you know, she's probably a decent enough actress, and they've obviously tried to put her into some kind of niche ever since Game of Thrones. And it's just like everything she's done, she's just failed at. Like, she's not an action star, clearly. You know,
What was that? What was that? Was he in a rom-com or?
I remember being in some kind of romantic movie, and I think that's probably where she should sit. Like, just things that require her to just like sit in a room and talk to people.
Oh, but it looked horrible, Critical. It looked horrible.
It probably was.
Sit there, bat your eyes, and look pretty. That's pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, she's, you know, she's dainty and cute looking, and I'm sure there's like a niche for things like that. But it's like, don't put her in action movies. Don't try and make her into Sarah Connor. She is not that.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any truth to this. I'll be happy if I'm wrong, but I honestly do not think that she is going to be the new Mera. We should be so lucky. The rumors that we've heard all point to a bigger role for Amber, not for Mera, but for Amber, and them actually filming new scenes with her for Justice League kind of like underlines that. So I think that's probably more wishful thinking than anything else. And then Tiberius Monk said for $5, thank you so much, Mortal Kombat movie needs more koalas, Nicolas Cage, Chun-Li, and Batman for reasons. By the way, Andre, Tom, Mr. H, and the Midnighters are all awesome. Excelsior. Oh, thank you. Drinker, how excited were you for Mortal Kombat? Maybe you said it, but I didn't hear.
Yes, very excited. As I was saying there, like, it really seems like they've embraced the kind of, you know, over the top ridiculousness of the whole game. They've really understood that the gore and the violence was like a key component of the game's success, and it really feels like they brought that as well. So I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, cool. And on that note, Valiant Renegade also says, who forgot to invite Iron Man, Bugs Bunny, Richard Nixon, and Jesus Christ to fight in Mortal Kombat? WTF. Yeah, that's the beauty with Mortal Kombat. It's truly unifying. And John Miller says, I don't watch it, or he doesn't want to watch it if they included Freddy Krueger. Then again, it would have to be the England Krueger.
Yeah,
it's
for
not
some reason
the
the
other
game
guy.
they wouldn't put the other one.
Yeah. And Cynical Lindsay says that Chun-Li article is one of the reasons why I support geek culture gatekeeping. Did you hear about that, Drinker? We covered it shortly before you went in.
I shared it on Twitter as well, because I think it was Sophia Norwitz who pointed out, it's just like, it's hilarious. I'm not convinced that it's not a troll, but if it's not, it's just peak 2021 gaming journalism right there. Like, why is Chun-Li not in the Mortal Kombat movie? Just stop. Like, if you don't know anything about video games, don't write an article about video games. Just stay away from it.
But she's an astute film critic.
Yeah, I'm sure she's very diverse, and that's why she got hired. But that's probably another issue.
Look like a white chick to me. I could be wrong.
Also, Master Clockwork says for $2, fade in. On that note, Drinker, you saw that in the video. Was that a troll, or was that the bunch of diversity hires that didn't know what the heck they were doing?
No,
I will also say that the lighting of that video was also all wrong. I noticed that when I did the thumbnail for an upcoming video that we have coming, that I had to make it darker and increase the contrast just to make Kathleen Kennedy look like a human.
Well,
for technical awards, so she was just trying to be avant-garde, and
I think so, yeah, because it's referenced in women who worked in like cinematography and stuff. So I assume that's what it's meant to be.
It's supposed to be all like fade in, fade out.
Yeah,
takes pill,
initiates melodramatic music. Now, you know.
Well, whoever did the cinematography of that clip needs to find another job, because
it's probably
it was horrendous. Maybe.
My honey. Well, she probably filmed it from her backyard.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I would imagine so. But still, it wasn't good. As I noticed when I tried to make a thumbnail from it. It was not a great video to talk about the awesomeness of technical achievements in film. It wasn't.
She's looking around. Where's Frank? Okay, he's gone. Okay, maybe I could get this done in 10 minutes.
He would have directed it better.
Yeah, it's for sure. And Sleepy Panda said doggy super sticker, so thanks for that. And Jay Fraser 360 sends £5 saying, warning to Mike, David of Red Bar Radio. This stream may contain bolts, DVDs, and statues. So,
fuck that guy.
This is a reference to something else, isn't it, Tom?
That guy. Yes.
Yeah. And your Muslim uncle says, listen to Mr. H, Brother Marines. And Hyper Guyver says, I heard that if you say Chuck Norris 3 times in the mirror, Rob will appear. And Enoch Mammon says that Jezebel article is further proof that the Access media is full of activists, not journalists.
Well, it's a perfect example of what's going to happen if you continue to go down this road of, we're worried first and foremost about the diversity factor than we are if this person is actually talented or smart.
It gives you a great insight into what they base their articles around. It's like, what can we get outraged about today? What piece of oppression or exclusion can we highlight so that we can get some more clicks in? And that's what you get. You get people who just don't even understand the subject matter, but they just want to rant about something. And I remember when games journalism was confined to like people who were genuinely passionate about video games and had a real background in the industry. And they just talked about games and what was going on within the industry. They didn't give a crap about politics or representation or any of that other stuff. And it's just a perfect example, like you say, of what happens when you get activists instead of journalists.
That was the old days when there were things called magazines.
Yes, I remember magazines.
They
were great.
They weren't they? You bring up a great point, Drinker. What was one of the biggest complaints about the Spider-Man game, not the Miles Morales, but the Spider-Man PS4 game. I remember reading that it didn't do enough to address the issue of police corruption in New York.
Yeah,
I swear to God, I'm like, for fuck's sake,
someone wanted a plot of that in the game. Brilliant.
Yeah, they did.
I remember a review of like the latest Tomb Raider game, and it was like Tomb Raider is fun, but it doesn't do enough to address Lara Croft's post-colonial history or something. I was like, oh, get fucked! Like, what has that got to do with any of this? It's just nonsense, like shit stirring crap that it's like all they can come up with just to get angry about.
I got into a Twitter beef about that with the guy somebody wrote the article, and it's like, there's a time and a place for it, and the time and place is not in a Spider-Man game. It's if you want to address if you want something that addresses police corruption, go watch Serpico. Seriously, which is a great movie, by the way.
It's like Spider-Man's meant to be lighthearted, fun.
Exactly.
It's an adventure. It's nothing to do with like this real world crap that we have to deal with all the time.
Exactly. Dear God. Unbelievable. Anyway.
Next we had Karasu Yaiba, who says, the time reset ruined the MK lore for me. Yeah, they did some weird time travel stuff or something. I don't know. Like, I completely fallen out of it since Mortal Kombat 3.
Yeah.
Like the original 3. 16-bit generation 3. So
unfortunately, speaking of uninformed critiques, I've played a few of the games, but I'm not like knee deep in the lore. I know the stuff from the movies, a little bit of the TV show, but I barely remember any of that crap. I just remember the basics from the video game and the early video games and movies. So hopefully, it's not one of those situations where they destroy all the lore for the true fans of the series. So, I'd like to hear that. So you guys got to definitely let us know if that's the case, if you are. But no, I consider myself a moderate fan and from what I've seen, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. It does indeed. And then we have Thunderstorm wonders how many people okayed that story for publishing, obviously referring to the Chun-Li thing, which is why I agree with the drinker. I think that this was like some way of trying to create some false controversy and getting like loads of brownie points on Twitter and some woke points and create some kind of debate or something. But instead, hopefully, it's going to fall completely flat on its face. But you saw it was really incendiary, that article. As I pointed out before, you have like the title, "Where's Chun-Li?" And they highlight the white woman. And the implications of what they wanted to do with that was pretty clear. So it was a virtue signal either way. Only question is, did they know or did they not know? But I suspect that they probably knew. And I think that I agree with Drinker. I think that they did it just to create controversy and score some clicks and stuff. That's my thought there.
It makes you look pretty dumb, and it shoots all your integrity in the foot. But
these people don't have integrity. If it doesn't work, they move on to the next story. Which integrity?
And the thing is, it's Jezebel, so like it's going to be targeted at like, I don't know, brain dead millennial normies who don't even know anything about video games in the first place. So like,
exactly,
most of them won't even pick up on how stupid and wrong it is. They'll just be like, "Oh yes, you're right. She should be in this. I don't know what this game is, but she should be in it, and I'm angry now." And that's I guess what they rely on. It's like more resentment clicks that they're going to get.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I think that they deliberately banked on that here we're going to get people angry. They're going to talk about representation and stuff. We're going to get loads of clicks and loads of brownie points. That the whole thing is based on bullcrap. That's never stopped anyone from publishing something like that before.
Outrage bait. It's outrage bait.
I love that. Resentment clicks.
Exactly.
Awesome.
That's what I think it was. And then we had Cesario JPN, who says they need to bring back Mortal Kombat Conquest. Chock full of beautiful ladies like Kristanna Loken, Angelica Bridges, etc. # bring back 90s TV. Did you guys ever watch Mortal Kombat Conquest? I did. Was I the only one?
Now that Kristanna Loken is in it, I think I will watch it.
That's that newer one they did through Machinima or whatever online.
No, this is the original one. This is the OG one, the one from the 90s, not the Machinima one. But like before she was in Terminator, she was in Mortal Kombat Conquest. That's one of the places where she started out.
Is it a movie or show? What is it?
The series, TV series.
Okay, well, I've seen the live action one with the guy who played Liu Kang in it. If that's it.
No, that's not it. Like, this is from the 90s. It's like the same kind of series as like Sinbad and stuff. Well, I don't remember the guy playing Liu Kang being in it.
Yeah, he was the only guy who was the same person. Was the guy who played Liu Kang?
No, you mean the guy who played Scorpion? Because that was the guy who I know. They had the same actor playing Scorpion in the movies and in the series. I don't even think that Liu Kang was in it because it took place like thousands of years before. It featured Kung Lao and stuff. But of course, I'm just going from memory here, and maybe he was in it. He was in it too. But basically, it was like real budget, child-friendly thing, kind of like the Hercules series. It's like that general idea, only in Mortal Kombat setting. So if you consider Kevin Sorbo's Hercules, it was that kind of stuff. So it wasn't great, but yeah, it had Kristanna Loken, so that helped. And then Imperial Lumpia says for $10, hail all, fair warning, 40k has a lot of lore to get through, been consuming it over 20 years and I still don't know everything. Would recommend starting with Mr. H's playlists for a brief intro. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Drinker, are you into 40k?
I mean, I don't play the games or anything, but I really like the backstory and the lore and everything like that. It's a fantastic universe. If you want to talk about like narrative depth and like the, the richness of the fictional universe they've created, like, man, that takes some beating. And they're always adding to it. They're always bringing more stuff in. So, yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, indeed. And Mr. Tickletrunk says, my heart was spinning to industrial metal music like the Johnny Cage versus Scorpion fight scene in the original Mortal Kombat film during the trailer. And Robert says, Mr. H was giddy over the trailer. It looked so good. His reaction to the new guy, Cole, needing a Star Trek red shirt. Cheers, mate. So, yeah. And Tiberius Monk says, the MK trailer surprised me by embracing the mysticism and lore of this franchise fully. Also recommend producer James Wan's video commentary. Amazing. Oh, I have to check that out. I was to where there was one. So, cool. James Wan is a great filmmaker, so him producing is always a good sign.
No, I was wrong. You were right. He wasn't in that.
Yeah,
I must have just saw the second
that's what I was
movie
thinking.
I must have just saw the second movie on television or something and thought it was so bad that it was a TV show.
Well, no. The second movie is a masterpiece next to the TV show.
Well, possibly, but I'm just saying, like, I must have just ran across it on television and thought it was because I never watched the film. I watched the first 5 minutes of it, and I'm like, nope, fuck this shit, I'm out.
It was pretty cheap looking. The production values, I think, were on par with the TV show today.
And the production values were cinematic compared to the TV show of the time. But they did get the same actor to play Scorpion. I remember that. I believe his name is Chris Casamassa or something.
Yeah.
So that's like the one guy that I remember.
And evidently, I've never seen the TV
Scorpion
series.
Yeah. It was... Yeah, basically it was Hercules. Kevin Sorbo's Hercules all over again. But we did get Scorpion's origin, which was weird, but hey-ho, I think the movie will do a far better job at it. And Whitecaps on the Bay says, this movie is the rule of cool, pun intended. And Arisaka, the fancy goose, says, Chun-Li in Mortal Kombat gives a whole new spin to finish her.
Where's Bugs Bunny in this motherfucker?
So I think someone in chat said it's like getting mad that Uhura isn't in Star Wars.
Yeah, what's your fatality, Doc?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know? And Alex Asara says, real talk. I think Louis Tan is playing Kuai Lang, main Sub-Zero. The latest posts, premise and such. Oh, I recommend Berserk, the manga to Andre. It's Evil Dead meets Game of Thrones with a dash of Conan. Okay, cool. I shall add it to the list. Yeah, I think there's probably more to this character, Louis Tan. He's the one who plays this Cole, right? I think there's going to be much more to him than meets the eye. Because, yeah, we know that there's like at least 2 Sub-Zeros in mythology. You have like the one in the first game, but he goes on to become Noob Saibot, doesn't he? And then it's like his brother or something that becomes the new Sub-Zero. Because I know there's like a second Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat 3, the game, and also in Mortal Kombat 2, the movie.
I thought Noob Saibot was like a robot thing. Maybe I'm getting confused with my characters.
Well, maybe he became a robot at some point, but to begin with, he was just like a black ninja.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could be wrong on that one.
Yeah. But again, my lore is pretty spotty once we get past the first three games. But I know that in Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate Edition, Noob Saibot was a black ninja, non-robot. The black ninja or the gray ninja there was Smoke.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's a wonderful thing to be able to recycle color schemes, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, those like stop motion animation things cost a lot of money back in the day. So yeah, if you can just reskin it, then you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. And STR Red Wolf says, the true test of Mortal Kombat CGI is if they make Goro and fellow Shokan, the 4-armed half-human/half-dragons, look like they belong in real life. Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? Because I have to say, I think Goro in the 1995 movie, who was partially a stop-motion puppet and partially like really, really good puppetry and everything like that, that he looked pretty amazing.
Actually,
it's
they
going to
used
be fun to see.
CGI on it too, but that was like in wider shots.
They did everything. They used everything they had at their disposal. Whereas this time around, it's like pure CGI, maybe mocap CGI. It's going to be interesting to see how the two is going to hold up, because one of them will actually be there on set and the other won't. What do you guys think about that? Like, that's going to be quite a technical challenge, won't it?
I mean, I think nowadays, like, you know, it's easy enough to get actors like on. I guess you'll have to be on some kind of rig to make him taller and stuff, and then they can play off that. And then CGI in it'll be easy enough. Like, it's, you know, the technology's advanced to the point where you can basically make anything look realistic now if you've got the budget. So
yeah, it's probably played by a
imagine-
guy in pajamas with a tennis ball on his head.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and the tennis ball's on a stick so that the actors had an eye line to go by, basically.
Yeah. Probably it'll be interesting to see exactly what they do with it. And
That shot in the trailer looks good, though.
It looks really good. It looks really good, I thought.
And I'm not a fan of CGI, and I even praised the blood because I really am not a fan of CGI blood. So,
yeah, no, that looked pretty awesome to see what they're going to do with that. And Shogun Gaming sent us 14 Danish krona super sticker of a cute little unicorn. So tusen takk. And Mags says, "Happy Fade in Friday, everyone." And Jesse Miller at the Crow's Nest wonders, theaters, home? The answer is limited theatrical release simultaneously as straight to HBO Max release. And if you are in an international land where there is no HBO Max, then either it's going to go to someone that HBO or Warner is partnered up with, or you're going to be going to the high seas. One of those, probably. It's going to be loads of people on the high seas, I think, around the world, because HBO Max is only in some limited territories yet. Is it in the UK yet?
HBO Max? No, it is not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's,
there you go.
Yar! I can't be waiting for it, mateys.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So do expect to see a number of Surfshark plugs around that time. You have been warned. And Dark's Blade says for $10, I don't know about Ginger Kano. If they were going to ginger swap, I think it should have been Jax, just to be fair. Also, if Cole gets the nickname Johnny Cage, Fighter doesn't make it so. Cage is canon stage name. Yeah, this is true. Like, I would suck if he was Johnny Cage, but yeah, that would have been something for the cause, wouldn't it? To make the character ginger, but alas, I don't think that Hollywood likes gingers very much.
No, they're the first casualties of diversity, usually.
Yeah. On that note, Andy Wackenfeld wonders, any thoughts on the race swapping in Mortal Kombat? Is that what he's referring to, or was there something else that I missed?
Yeah, I can't. If that's what it is, then yeah, okay, that's a race swap. But otherwise, I don't know of any.
I don't think of any either. Yeah, no, I didn't.
Well, they kind of made it a new character on its own in a weird way.
Yeah, so there's no race swapping there. If it's a new character,
similar but different kind of thing. Yeah. Instead of making him an actor, they made him an MMA fighter. So, I mean, there could have been worse things. I get it. He's the one white guy. I mean, as far as the good guys go. So, I mean, I can see the point, but at the same time, I'm not as worried about it. I'm not as attached to a character like that as, say, Superman or something like that. But I do understand those who are. So I don't want to, say it's not a big deal if it is. When I see the film, if I see the movie and it's like, well, they could have just had Johnny Cage in here, then I'm going to be, whatever. But I mean, if this is a completely different character and there's more to this character and the world's open for a Johnny Cage and a possible sequel, then cool. Is Johnny Cage necessarily a gotta have character? I mean, that's a good question. I mean, historically, the character is important because you know, it's kind of the basis for the whole game in a sense, because that was supposed to be Jean-Claude Van Damme. And that was kind of the whole, what was the impetus for the game to begin with, was going to be a Van Damme game, and he backed out of it or whatever happened, and they just went and turned it into its own thing from my recollection. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I don't know. And then somebody did bring up, are they going to have Van Damme pop in a cameo as Johnny Cage or something? You never know. Maybe that's what they'll do, is something like that. Maybe they'll have some fun with it. Do I miss the character not being there? Sure. But do I care as much as, say, like not having, you know, like, a superhero in a Justice League movie that I like? You know, I kind of look at it like that. So I didn't get the Flash in this Justice League. Maybe he'll be in the next one, kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking it the wrong way about it.
I don't know. Paulie, any thoughts on Johnny Cage not being in the movie or being replaced by this new character?
You know, race swapping is a touchy thing, right? And, you know, going both ways, because it's like you want the right type of I don't know. I tend to lean toward what Tom was saying, you know, that it's not like Luke Skywalker is being played by Michael B. Jordan, you know. I don't know, you know, this to me, it's also like, you know, martial artists, you know. I'd have to see it too. And I think they're probably saving Cage. But yeah, usually if you're just race swapping a race swap for diversity, it's not a good formula.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. And then Thunderstorm, and maybe you got this one. He asks, why would anybody change the Superman theme? I think we covered that one.
Yeah, we did.
We got it covered.
Yeah. And ST Red Wolf on the topic of music says, if you like blah in music, Rob, look up the Oral Notes cover of You Spin Me Round with Silver Latomi, part of their generic teaser trailer video. And then Christopher Tock wonders, Vice was Jan Hammer, right? Yes, Jan Hammer did the music for Miami Vice, and it was epic. Miami Vice always had brilliant music. Even the remake movie had pretty decent soundtrack. And Enoch Mammon says, Hans Zimmer's theme from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise is the same as his theme for Muppet Treasure Island 10 years before.
Yeah, it is. Now that you say that. Probably.
I had no idea.
Well, that's what we were talking about, because I was digging on you a little bit when you were gone, Andre, about how you guys were so hopped up on, I had you and Uche ganging up on me on Zimmer the other day, and everybody else is agreeing with me.
Yeah, I really like the soundtrack to
and
Man
Zimmer
of Steel.
is known to reuse a lot of music. As you pointed out, he even reused whatever music it was in that one part in Wonder Woman. So from Batman and Superman. Yeah. So, but we got some breaking news. I don't know if anybody gives a shit.
Bring it. Well, let's see. Let's see
how important it is.
I got some breaking news too.
DC Universe's new Supergirl is the Young and the Restless actress Sasha Calle or Calle.
I mean, she looks hot. Give her that.
Callie will make debut in upcoming Flash film. This is according to Deadline.
I don't think too many people give a shit about Supergirl.
That's what I said. I don't know if anybody gives a shit, but
I mean, she looks beautiful, so that's going to be nice to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, I want to see the spin-off of Young and Restless, the Young and the Wrestlers. I mean, that's the WWE right now.
What with like Hulk Hogan and stuff there.
It looks like
my brother.
It looks like she's a Latina.
Oh yeah,
born
I'm filing for divorce. Yeah. I was about to say she did look a bit Latina.
She's Colombian, but raised in Boston, Massachusetts. I mean, she's gorgeous. So there you have it.
Okay, there we have our Supergirl, who is now Colombian. Brilliant. Then I'm sure that will be very, very exciting, and the casting really ramps up for the Flash movie. Now we just need the confirmation of Nicolas Cage, and we're good to go.
Yep.
I'm more of an Earth protector.
Yeah. Get Cage in, and I'm all in with that film.
Yeah. Paulie, you said you had some breaking news too.
Oh no.
Okay.
My breaking news is a spoof video of the it's a remaking of the Titanic, but people are in ice in Texas. We could save it for later. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
I saw it, and I don't know if it'd be in good taste or.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was yeah, dude. It's let's carry on. I was nudged by some of the people in the
chat.
Only
other thing I'd be worried about is if speaking of music, we'd probably get nailed for the soundtrack.
No, you totally have to kill the sound, but like that's what makes it so funny. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't work without it. Otherwise, it's yeah.
This actress is gorgeous, man. Just looking at some of her IMDb stuff. Yeah,
go for it. Bring them all in. I don't care. Where's Plastic Man and what's the other one you want? Rob Furbish Man or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's not here.
I'm muted. I'm muted.
Yeah.
Forbish Man. Yeah.
Forbish Man.
And what would make the movie complete for me is if they bring in Von Buck. That would be amazing. Von Buck, of course, is one of the villains in Kingdom Come, but he's based on one of my favorite musicians, which is cool.
But you got a new Constantine. Didn't you want that from J.J. Abrams?
Actually, that's the one thing I absolutely did not want under any circumstance. So of course, I'm getting it.
Is that one of the guys from Rammstein? I mean, is that
you are not completely wrong. Von Buck is inspired by Milan Fras, who is the frontman of Laibach, and Laibach is the precursor to Rammstein.
Okay,
the T in Rammstein is even taken from Laibach's logo, which is the Celtic cross.
Everyone in the chat, I want you to note the day and time where Andre said I was not completely wrong. Okay, so that's doesn't happen often.
Yeah. So to everyone wondering, there's a strong link between Laibach and Rammstein. I mean, Laibach even did a cover of Rammstein, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Nicholas Age gets it. And on that note, Tom had to remind me that we are indeed getting a new John Constantine, courtesy of J.J. Abrams. Drinker, did you hear about this?
I knew nothing about that whatsoever, so this is news to me. Wow, like there's no limits to the number of franchises that JJ can ruin. Truly, he is a man of great ambition.
Like we keep saying, he's a cultural locust. He comes in, strips a field bare, and then when it's all used up, he moves on to the next one.
Yep. It just doesn't seem like the kind of film that he would even be suited to either. You know, it's like having Paul Feig direct in like a hardcore R-rated horror movie or something. Like it's not what I would have imagined.
It's like having Anita Sarkeesian direct a porn movie.
Yeah. So yeah,
we don't like my politics. Don't buy my book.
Done.
Hey.
So yeah. Anyway,
why didn't you buy my book? You told me not to.
You'll have no problem from me on that one.
Yeah. No, but here's like the thing. I actually like the character John Constantine, and I'm really excited about who's going to be playing him in Netflix Sandman series. I so hope that it's going to be, I forgot his name now. What's his face? The one from Kingsman. He also did the voice in the audiobook.
Is it someone Egerton?
Taker?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, he'd be perfect. So I seriously hope that he is the one that they have for the Netflix Sandman series that they have stubbornly refused to announce yet. That is who's playing Constantine. They've announced pretty much everyone else, including the gender-bent Lucifer in it. But yeah, we will be getting 2 new Constantines. We will be getting 1 new Constantine for Sandman and possible sequels there, and later seasons and everything. Plus, we will be getting a new Constantine on HBO Max, and this then would be J.J. Abrams' Constantine. Now, we don't know much about either this series, other than that it's from J.J. Abrams, so that should tell you pretty much everything you need to know right there. So, like, abandon all hope right away. And one of the first things that they have announced is that they haven't. Well, actually, I've heard rumors that they have cast the actor, so they probably already have, but they haven't gone public with it. So what they've gone public with is that it's not going to be your traditional Constantine. He's also not going to be from American, but he may be British, but he's going to be of Black or Southeast Asian origin.
Of course he is.
So,
the thing is, it's going to be irrelevant. You're not going to be able to see his face anyway because of all the lens flare.
Yeah, there is that, but still, then they've made some pretty hefty changes right there, and I could deal with that alone if the rest was going to be okay. But since it's J.J. Abrams, you kind of like already know that it's not going to be. What they said was that they were looking for a Reza Aslan type.
Why not just get him?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. If you're looking for someone like Reza Aslan, why not just get him and right off the bat and be done with it?
I heard one time someone say it's all about in Hollywood. Who do you want? Who can you get? Who's available? Like for let's just say for Tomb Raider. Yeah, we want Angelina Jolie. Cristiano Loken is available. We can get Anna Nicole Smith. God rest her soul. That's the pecking order. We want. You can enforce for everything. We want Martin Scorsese. We can get Robert Taylor Johnson for a director. We can get J.J. Abrams. He's available. So, fuck it.
I think the best example
I just butchered that fucking joke. Damn it.
Well, the better joke there would actually be the casting of Wolverine. Let's just say that Hugh Jackman, he was not their first choice, or their second, or their third, or even their fourth, but he was the one they could get.
That's exactly
all right in the end, ultimately.
Yeah, I did turn out.
Who Bryan Singer thought was sexiest, probably.
Maybe.
Oh my!
There was Gray, what's his face or whatever, who's going to be originally, and then didn't Viggo Mortensen turn it down too?
But look at Dougray now in Batwoman.
Yeah. And he also wasn't even like the first choice. He was like they
were going to have Danzig originally, weren't they? Was they going to have Danzig originally?
I do know that Hugh Jackman, when he was eventually cast, he had something like 3 weeks to prepare for the role, and clearly couldn't get into anywhere near the kind of shape that he needed to. But they were just like, "Oh fuck it, just put him in anyway."
Nah, he's a lean.
When he was preparing for the role, he told Stephen Colbert when he was preparing for the role, he'd never seen a Wolverine. They don't have Wolverines in Australia, so he thought it was a wolf. So he started growling like a wolf. And Bryan Singer said, "Cut! What the fuck are you doing? That's I'm being a Wolverine. I'm acting like Wolverine, like the wolf. Come on, Wolverines don't exist. Yeah, they do. Get your ass to the zoo and go look at one, okay?"
Well, I think the biggest problem he had as well is like Wolverine's meant to be really short. I think he's like 5'6" or something, whereas Hugh Jackman is this huge, like 6'4" guy. And so, the other actors had to be on boxes and stuff when they were stood next to him just to kind of even out the height a little bit. And yeah, like you're always going to have a problem there, but obviously he kind of made the role his own over the course of like 10 years.
Also, it's like a fun story with the name Wolverine, because as you mentioned, Hugh Jackman, he thought it was like a wolf-like creature or something, and can't really fault him, because the same thing happened in Norway too in the early 80s, because that's when we first got like the comics in which Wolverine appeared. First one being in the Incredible Hulk before he got like all his X-Men stuff like that, right? Then he appeared in, I believe it was the Incredible Hulk issue 180. It's like when he first appears, and he has like his towards the end, and then he has like his major appearance in the Incredible Hulk 181. Now, both of these issues were released in like one Norwegian comic in 80. 81, 82, something like that. Anyway, I got the back issue much later. But anyway, the fun thing then is that the translator, the one who translated the original American version to Norwegian, we do have Wolverines in Norway, but there's nothing wolf-like about their name. So eventually it went completely over his head that a Wolverine is what we in Norway call a jerv. So he made up a name. And if you take, he basically, okay, Wolverine sounds like this, so I'm going to translate it to this. So in his first appearance in Norwegian comics, Wolverine was called Ulvinnen, which means, if you translate it back to English, the wolfess, the female wolf. Because that's what the translator thought that the name Wolverine sounded like, a female wolf. So he was like, all right, that's lame, but hey, it's their comics, so I'm just going to go with it. So in his first appearance, Wolverine in Norway was the female wolf. They fixed it later on, but yes, more people were confused by that.
Well, go ahead, Rob.
Parts of America, they're called Bearcats, you know.
Bearcats?
Yeah,
Bearcats.
I want that. I want a Bearcat.
You know, like Cincinnati University, it's Cincinnati Bearcats. So
I want a Bearcat. They sound cute. But of course, besides Dogre, and then, you know, as I also said, Vigo turned it down. There was another person who turned it down originally too.
Yeah, Russell Crowe was still here,
as well as Glenn Danzig. We almost had playing the film. That was who Fox wanted, and Richard Donner, who was originally going to make a Wolverine movie first, wanted. But fortunately for us, it would have took a year out of his life, so he said no.
Well, at one point, they wanted Bob Hoskins too.
And Bob Hoskins is also an original. Now, he would have been a better one because he actually would have looked like what, you know, it should have been.
I vote for Nick Cage. I just want Nick Cage to play everyone.
More of a mutant protector.
Seriously, though, I mean, Wolverine's the real-life animal. They're vicious, and they eat like an ungodly amount over their own body weight. I mean, they could devastate a herd of cattle like within a few weeks.
I'd take a 1970s Nicholson.
Nicholson would have been great in the 70s. Actually, you're right. Yes,
he would have been fantastic. I mean, if you look at like 70s Nicholson, that's what Wolverine looks like. That would have been dream casting right there. Or even Wolverine and Wolf, like that's the old man Logan right there.
Well, there, Professor X. I see we have a difference of opinion here.
yeah. I mean, yes and no. I mean,
Nicholson was actually when he was younger, he was in pretty good shape. Not obviously not superhero shape, but
if he'd have done it like back in the day during like the Cuckoo's Nest days, oh hell yeah.
What's that one? Liberty. God, what's that?
Liberty Vance.
Yeah. He looked pretty trim in that one. You know. Like go right into Wolverine, do like
well, he was always kind of more modeled after Clint Eastwood in certain ones, but
well, I mean, if you watch like Chinatown, you know, Nicholson was a rather handsome guy in his day, you know. Now he's just a caricature of himself.
He doesn't have to do anything but be Jack Nicholson now.
I think he's retired now, isn't he?
He goes to Laker games now. That's it. Well, nobody goes to Laker games now with the lockdowns, but still.
Yeah, no, I think he is more or less retired, isn't he? He's not been in the film in years.
Yeah.
Well, the Lakers play for him though, Rob. Like, there's not even a game going on. It's like Jack wants to go. We're just going to pretend there's.
All right, fellas, let's go.
Let's get this show on the road. Come on.
Let's show some defense out there, guys. Come on.
And
Master Clock
on the topic. Yeah, he says on the topic. Wolverine is 5'3", which equals 160 centimeters. Us shorties are fierce. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
I believe it's called Little Man Syndrome. That's at least what we call it.
A Napoleon complex, yeah.
Those guys are the worst to fight.
Danny DeVito for Wolverine.
Oh no.
Well, they're the guys that are most likely to fight you as well because they've always got something to prove.
They're dirty as hell.
I'm going berserk here.
Paulie, listen, I'm 5'7" and I can't fight for shit. Okay, let me tell you, I just sound intimidating because I bring out my mafia roots. Hey, it's a pretty nice place you got here. Be a real shame if something happened to it. You know what I mean?
Rob the wise guy doesn't need to fight. You just have a guy drop over and fight for you.
There's just a guy who follows him around with a violin going.
Instead of a dead fish. It's a dead fish. It's a dead fish. It means
drop the gun, take the cannoli.
Exactly. Pay attention. You never know when you got the.
We told him
40 minutes.
Either his signature or his brains were going to be on the contract.
No, this is me being totally serious. The wedding scene at the beginning of The Godfather.
Yeah.
You don't know how many weddings I went to that were like that.
I can imagine.
I mean, you have cousins coming out of the woodwork. You have people you never met. They say that, hey, I know your father. I'm like, from the old country. I'm like, really? I'm like, how come I never heard about this person before? I'm like, geez. People and you didn't see them till the next wedding. That was the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you could basically take out the Italian and put the Mexican in there, and it's the same thing.
Oh yeah, a lot of it is exactly the same. Yeah.
There's always a crazy drunk
Irish Catholics too, same
Irish
thing.
Catholics. We have so much in common.
Well, but actually, I will also say that.
Huh?
He said that he's turning into a robot.
Years, you only see your family in weddings and funerals.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that?
Yeah,
we got you.
But you'd be surprised though. Like I said, my buddy Jimmy was 6'4", and Dave Sheehan, who you met, who you went on the stream before, he's 6'1", and I'm 5'7", and I'm standing between the two of them. And I'm looking up, these two guys towering over me, and I'm like, I shall bring the ring to Mordor. I'm like, but I do not know the way. I'm like, so it's. I'm like, damn it! I've been cursed with those dominant short jeans. All I wanted out of life was 5'9", and I underachieved at that too. Damn it!
You're my Samwise to my Frodo.
Oh.
Enough about me.
So does that make Andre Gandalf?
Yes, it does. He's got the beard and everything. Andre, all you need is the
Thou
cape.
shall not pass.
Did we lose him?
I think he's just
Do I still sound like a robot?
No, you're back now.
No,
we got you.
No, we were making fun of you. We said if Rob is my Samwise to my Frodo, then you must be Gandalf. And
who else?
Your internet works when it intends to.
It has a mind of its own, so it isn't always too reliable. So I'm going to go and fix that.
Run.
Just before you go, Andre, I was just about to say I'm probably going to have to jump out just now.
Oh well, thanks for joining us this morning. Appreciate it, man.
No problem. It's all,
absolutely.
guys. It's always a pleasure to jump in. I guess I'll catch you next time.
Yeah, awesome. We'll look forward to it. In the meantime, everyone, go check out the Critical Drinkers channel. Link is in the description. And thanks for joining us.
No worries. I'm going to go away now.
Thank you for being here, man. Take care. All right.
Yeah, all right. Let's move on with a couple of super chats before I become a robot again.
Actually, I'm more like Gollum and Smeagol. Some days I'm Smeagol, some days I'm Gollum.
Depends on the day. Depends on the day and how little sleep you've had and how many streams you've been on. So.
Exactly. They don't like you. Nobody likes you.
And then we have Lucas Krajcek that says everything seems ugly and awful because Talmudism is about inverting good, and that's what runs Hollywood. I wouldn't know anything about that, but if you say so, maybe there's something to it. I don't know. And New Guy Drew says, the thing about modern Zimmer is that, while good, it's too generic. One could take his soundtracks, apply it to other films, and it could work.
Indeed, I agree, and I appreciate those who like it. I get it. It's not your typical score, but outside of the Nolan films, it just doesn't work for me, and I don't find it musically appealing.
Yeah, no, there's absolutely something to it. That Nolan, he can really work with them. But other than that, there's a lot of like recycling going on as well. And that only goes to show how generic his music can be. And you even have like fan movies that recycle his scores. So yeah, it is very good, but pretty generic. There's no two ways about that.
Yeah.
But if he's really inspired, so it'll be interesting to see what he's done with the Dune soundtrack. I look forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. All I know is I got a copyright claim from Hans Zimmer because I farted and moaned in a fucking podcast once. So,
There you go. That's as genetic as gets right there.
No, I was kidding, of course, but no, that's what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah. And Darksblade says for $5, the DC Animated Universe Soup's theme was good and distinct too, but was inspired by Williams. Also, the ginger swap thing was a joke. You didn't have to skip my other chat. Did we skip a chat of yours? I don't think so.
I don't think we did on purpose anyway.
No, if we did, it was not on purpose.
Oh, then that must have, maybe it got pulled down by Google. Did you say something that it didn't like?
Let's see, because we said the one about, I don't know what, the Ginger Kano, if they were going to swap. We got that one.
Yeah.
Let's see if there was another from Darksblade. I'm just gonna scroll down here. See if I don't think we missed anything.
If you write certain words, sometimes Darksblade, they won't let them go through because of Google's bot thing or whatever you want to call it.
We've gotten 2 super chats from you, and we took both of them. So there's
reread the other one just to be sure.
I'll reread the. Yeah, sure. The other one was, I don't know about Ginger Kano. If they were gonna ginger swap, I think it should have been Jax, just to be fair. Also, if Cole gets the nickname Johnny Cage Fighter, doesn't make it so. Cage is canon stage name. We got all of that.
Yeah, we got both of them.
Yeah, we got all of that. So that was like one super chat.
Maybe you stepped away and missed it.
Yeah, but no, we didn't miss anything. We covered it extensively. Yeah. But thank you in any event. And yeah, the DC Animated Universe. How good was that? Especially the Superman series, I thought was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
And William Barr says Tim Burton is a one-trick pony, and kind of hard to disagree with it.
He used to not be, but like I have this theory that sometime about 2001, the same aliens that abducted Michael Jackson and replaced him with a doppelganger that in the 80s did the same thing to Tim Burton in 2001. Because like after that, everything he did was just a remake or a ripoff or bullshit. And he just hasn't been the same. It's not, I swear, he's not the same guy who made Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice and Batman now. It can't be.
Well, he hasn't really done anything for a while, and what he has done, I agree, wasn't anything.
I know. I wish the real MJ would come back. We need him. Time. We need him badly. And we got that weird alien thing in his place. I don't know.
And Darkblade clarifies, saying, "No apologies. It just flew off the screen back when I first bought it." Oh well, we didn't do that for one thing, and you don't have to send a second super chat to explain. But thanks in any event.
Yeah, we do try to pay attention to the chat as always. So you just had to add us or whatever. Yeah, and Fractal, just like Fractal did here at Midnight's Edge. Any news on the Bond review? I've been talking to Robert. He's been super busy. We're trying to find a time to sync up. So hopefully we'll know more soon. Because we thought Thursdays were going to work, but they seem to be busy days for him. So maybe we'll have to move him to a different day.
It only gives me time to watch You Only Live Twice again, so that's good.
And Putz says the race-swapped character was Melina, Kitana clone sister. Wears pink, uses high as a weapon, sharp teeth. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, I didn't notice. That's my fault then.
I honestly never even paid too much attention to Melina's original ethnicity the first time around. So
I'm guilty
yeah,
of that a lot of
notice.
times too.
Yeah,
because normally I don't give a shit. It's not like I care. I mean, it's not like because it's like I don't want to see that on TV. It's just like I'm not sitting there asking myself what race a person is when I'm watching the movie, unless it's something that's clearly taking me out of the movie. And Paulie, a great example of that is, Lou Diamond Phillips is Richie Valens. I mean, we've brought that up a few times. Where would he be cast today?
Well, I mean, or even right now with the breaking news, and I see some other YouTubers jumping on it, and then people in the chat as far as Supergirl not being a blonde, we don't know that yet. Let's see how this actor does.
There's wigs and hair dye.
There's wigs and hair dye. Anna de Armas.
Well, you know what? Please don't let us never forget the atrocity that was Sue Storm in the 2005 Fantastic Four movie. I mean, like Jessica Alba.
That was from reshoot too.
But she's not a good actor.
No. I'm not talking about Kate Mara. I'm talking about Jessica Alba.
I know who you're talking about.
Her thing from a blonde, and she was made up to be a blonde, and it was awful. It would have been better if she had just been allowed to look like herself.
See, me, like something like changing Supergirl from a blonde to a brunette or a black hair does not bother me.
Yeah, no, like do that instead. Do that instead. Then
that's the least of my concerns.
I mean, yeah, because
well, again,
you can change hair color by a few degrees before it gets fake or looks really fake, and they went way beyond that.
Yeah, you have that problem. Now, my worst one that bothers me is what's her face who played Kirsten Dunst, who played Mary Jane, because she's clearly not a redhead, and you can tell. And then you've got Bryce Dallas Howard in the third one, and you're like, she should have been playing her the whole time.
Yeah, she was good.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, Paulie, you were saying?
No, I was just saying that we got to give these actors a chance, especially when it's kind of out of the box casting. I'm sure they're not well, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to make Supergirl necessarily from a Latin country, but I know that Ana de Armas is playing Marilyn Monroe, and she's been working on her accent for like 9 months.
She's from another planet,
right? Yeah. Well, I meant like they'll find a way to like write it in, which I wouldn't.
Which would be stupid and
pandering. Which would be stupid. Yeah. So yeah, and Jessica Alba is playing Marilyn Monroe, and I'm sorry, Ana de Armas, and Jessica Alba was, to me, she's just not a very good actor, so it just made it even more cringe,
Yeah, and as K-Mation points out here, sometimes she wore a wig to disguise. Well, depending on which version you go by, when she turns into her pedestrian version, I can't remember her name now, when she's not Supergirl for some reason, it just drew a total blank. I know it, and I can't think of it. But when she switches her identity, that was what I loved about Supergirl from 1984 with what's her face? Now I can't remember anybody's name.
Helen Slater.
Helen Slater, where like how she changed her. She just walked past shit, and then 1 second she's Supergirl, the next minute Kara Danvers, is that it? Linda Danvers, one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden she's like got brown hair, glasses, and wearing her school uniform. It's just like, how does that shit work? She's got the magic of spinning like Wonder Woman. I love all that.
So yeah.
That's not good movies, but it's good to make fun of. Linda Lee, that's her name. Linda Lee. Yes.
Script Doctor had a couple of identities there.
And back to the topic of Mortal Kombat. Hypergiver 2 says, let's be honest, we just want to see Goro get punched in the wang again. I think you need
That'd be
Johnny
funny
Cage
if
for
you have
that.
a callback to that.
Oh, man.
I mean, there's a good
how
question.
Amazing is that? That was a character special move in the game.
Yes. There's a question I got for you guys. Is there any like callbacks to the original film that you guys want to see, besides something like that?
And
To the original film, not the game, but the film.
Yeah, like a little nod,
Hmm.
because that obviously is if they were to do the dick punch, that would be a clear nod to Goro. That'd be a clear nod to the movie.
Yeah. If it's to Goro, it absolutely would be to the movie. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm
yeah,
just like,
is there any
yeah,
little things
yeah.
you'd like to see in there, just to kind of like a wink to the original? But I would love to
trying
see.
to think of things. Well, yeah, carry
Mine's a
on. You
little
do
off.
that.
What I would love to see
Yeah.
is like if you had when oh gosh, who's the character that Christopher Lambert played? Raiden. When Raiden shows up and they ask, "Where the hell did you come from?" and he goes, if he just happens to say lots of different places, just as a callback to Lambert, just kind of tongue in cheek, I think that'd be kind of funny. Only certain people would get it.
The only thing that I can think of right now, which would be a callback to the movie and not to the game, that would be the moment when they first meet up on the boat that takes them to the island. And Johnny Cage, he comes in like the king of the world, and he tells Liu Kang, like, "Hey, you busboy, I'll give you like $5 or something if you'll carry my luggage." And he's like, "Oh yes, sir, absolutely." And he throws it straight into the sea. That was pretty cool. That was cool. I'd like to. Yeah, I wouldn't mind rewatching that or a nod to that. That would be sweet.
Mike Cat brings up a good one here. Somebody better say, "This is where you fall down." Is it because of the Johnny Cage scene in the beginning of the movie when the stunt guy doesn't fall over? Yeah. What about you, Rob?
Yes.
Dude, don't you even remember the original Mortal Kombat?
No, I don't.
Okay, never mind. Paulie?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Rob. I mean, I hope it's fun.
You've never seen it?
Yeah. Yes, but it's not like,
Okay.
It's not like it made the impression that you remember something.
Well, the come over here, get over here stuff. There was one of those lines was in the trailer.
Yeah, that's from the game.
And then I want to see I would love to hear some of the 90s theme song in it a little bit. That would be a lot of fun, especially.
I think it has to be there.
That would be sick.
I just looked and I'm trying to find the soundtrack. It isn't out yet. Mm-hmm. As soon as it's out, I'll get it and I'll let everybody know. The Wonder Woman soundtrack did drop like a week before the movie came out, so I'm assuming they might do the same for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Well, you'll have to keep us posted since you pay close attention to movie soundtracks.
I do.
And then Swinging Cod says for $10, thank you so much. A few minutes behind, but there is a documentary on YouTube explaining that the modern score issues is largely due to filler music in the filming and editing process. Elfman was pissed in it. I have seen this documentary, and it is a fantastic one, and I agree. I don't recall what its a precise name, but basically, it's if you just go to YouTube and you look for why does all movie music or movie scores sound the same, then you'll find it. It's a fantastic one, and basically what they say is that the reason everything sounds the same is that, or like so much of the music is very generic, is that the composers, even Hans Zimmer, isn't allowed to fully express themselves more often than not. And you have like Elfman in it, and he even says that temp music is the bane of my existence, I believe is his exact quote. Because what happens is that when they first film the movie, then they put on a temp score, just to like create the atmosphere and mood and stuff like that. It's not going to be like a score that's in the final movie. They just find like another score that's out there that they just put on the movie temporarily while they're assembling to get like the general mise-en-scene and the atmosphere. But the problem is that when they do this, the director gets attached to this temp score that was made for a completely different movie, so that it now begins to form his vision. And then he'll tell the composer not to make something that you think is going to fit the scene, but make something that sounds like this temp score that I've already used because now I'm used to it. And that is part of the reason why so much of the music in movies nowadays is so generic. And this is also cool. I remember that Taika Waititi, he even said that he had seen this YouTube video, and that was a big part of the reason why the movie in Thor Ragnarok was so unique and off-kilter. Because he was very clear that we're not going to have like a generic music here, because that video also talks specifically about Marvel movies, why they sound so similar. And that's what you have with that. So yeah, everyone check that video out. And moving on from there, then we have John Harrison, who says for $5, if you go to the Disney Oscars thing, people are putting Disney messages in other videos on there. Yes, we know. We'll get more into that. Once they close the comments on the Kathleen Kennedy video, people went to like the ones next to it. And on that note, Mags also says for $5, Anna, that Star Wars girl, made a 45-minute video recording all of the comments. I'm sure it was just a selection of them, but still, yeah, that's 45 minutes. I'm sure will be very interesting to listen to. And Lucas Krajcek also says for $5, here's the truth. Kathleen Kennedy is there as a face for you to hate, so you don't send hatred to Bob Iger or anyone like him. Well, that makes me really appreciative that we already have a video out about how much of this is really Bob Iger's fault. That video too, I got shadow banned. I think got shadow banned by YouTube. So everyone go check out that video that we did on how much of Star Wars' current predicament is really Bob Iger's fault, because much blame there. Well, and Thunderstorm says, no Grogu, big problems me see. Indeed. And Rob, you were trying to get the word in edgewise there.
Well, just the thing though, yeah, she may be like a lightning rod, keeping the attention away from Bob Iger, but at some point, even Bob say, "Oh, come on, how many times do I have to clean up your messes, Kathy? Come on." I mean, there's only so much you could tolerate, really, and if she's dragging the entire company down with her,
yeah, at some point, it's gonna be an issue to just her continued presence. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long they can do it. And moving on from there, the gay rascal says, burn those bridges and the toll booths that make money, those two. Now that appears to be what they're doing with Star Wars right now. Burn everything that makes money. And Adam Moffat says, I would be better off with Congo trilogy instead of Rian Johnson's trilogy of another failed Star Wars movies. Yeah, indeed. And Thunderstorm says, Rian Johnson, 5089 Star Wars development. That's probably maybe a joke there that I don't quite get. Oh, okay, yeah, that's really, really far into the future. So, and yeah, maybe we'll have maybe our robot.
I never thought this day would come, but yeah. I finally get to release my trilogy.
And Eskimono wonders, Rian Johnson trilogy or Gary's Picard review comes out first. Hasn't Gary reviewed Picard already? I thought he had. But in any event,
Gary's in the middle of interviewing. I don't think he finished it.
Okay, it was too painful, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's becoming an ongoing joke now that he hasn't finished the review.
Right, he's been trying to finish that one for like 6 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like us with our WandaVision reviews that we're 2 episodes behind, and who knows if we'll continue them. Did you guys see the newest episodes yet, or checked out completely?
Of WandaVision?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the last 2.
Yeah.
Don't care.
I saw last week's, and I'm just like, come on, this TV shtick is getting old. Just get to the point already.
In this most recent episode, they had gotten up into Modern Family territory.
Which I never watched, so that helps.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then there was something that they had billed as a huge reveal. It was a complete letdown. It was like one character that's new for the series that turned out to be another character from the comics that no one has ever heard about. Shock and horror. So yeah, don't hold your breath for more WandaVision reviews. We'll see what happens with it. And then Felicity Poubelle says Frank should have given her some coke before filming. Congo. Yeah, I'm not sure that would have helped, but certainly wouldn't have made things any worse. And
can't bring a dead fish back to life.
Indeed.
That's all I'm gonna say.
And Thunderstorm says nuclear energy needs more diversity for more boom.
I like it when things go boom.
The irony is though that because I know that in California they've like shut down like what almost all of their nuclear power plants, right? Isn't that about like Paulie? You know anything about this?
Paulie, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like they shut down like a bunch of power plants in California.
Yeah, I was out of power for like 6 to 8 hours yesterday. It was
brilliant.
really,
and they're doing the same thing.
Really frustrating.
Yeah, and they're doing the same thing in Europe as well. Like they're shutting down one nuclear power plant after the other, which for the environment is really bad policy. I have to say, like nuclear plants generally don't go boom as a general thing. But yeah, I'm not going to get too much into that. And Adam Wofford says for $10, so all these angry normal millennials are going to look like fools when they complain to a gamer, and that gamer will tell them she is from a different game, not from Mortal Kombat, but Street Fighter.
I think they got that message.
Yeah. I think that they tried and failed with that gamble. I don't think that they were stupid enough that they actually thought that.
I do. I really do, Andre. I think this is
You really think that they were sincere?
I think this is a clear example of what I was saying. This is what happens when you just do a bunch of diversity hires instead of actually vetting people and hiring people on any merit outside of either their sex or skin color. And what you'll end up with is articles like, why isn't Chun-Li in fucking Mortal Kombat? This is what's going to happen. And this person thought they had some big fucking gotcha. So they rushed it to the fucking press instead of, and everybody else who works above her is probably just as fucking clueless, because there are a bunch of fucking hires just like her.
That probably decided that, we're going to get so many brownie points on Twitter.
Exactly.
We're going to get so many rage clicks.
That's what they thought. No, they thought they were going to bring so much attention to this thing that nobody else figured out. That's how fucking smart they thought they were.
Yeah.
Because you have a bunch of people who work in this shit who have never played these games before, who don't care, who are not real nerds. She even says it in her thing. She's an astute film critic.
Very astute.
Not exactly. Indeed. And I would have said it was a joke, but they had to print that retraction at the bottom. If it was a joke, do you think they would have done that? No. It's clear that this person thought this. The editor saw it and was like, you got something here. And they ran to the presses with it. You know, I'll give them credit that they're at least in their embarrassment, they haven't deleted the story. But that's probably just because now, like you said, Andre, that's driven more traffic probably to that news site than they've ever had before. That's the only reason probably why they haven't deleted it. But no, I don't think it was purposefully put out there. I think it was a big old fucking snafu. And this to me is one of the clear examples, like that Supergirl hire or a Superman hire that lady got fired and says that, oh, I know I'm a good writer. They just fired me because they're being racist or sexist or whatever. You're going to see a lot more of this going forward, I bet. And I think script doctors agreed with me on that, yeah, eventually these people are going to get weeded out. They're just not going to work out. They're going to show their stupidity on their sleeve, and they're going to get laughed out the industry, and not by the people they work with, but by the people who they're trying to entertain and inform.
Well, I hate to say it, but if KK was a dude, it would have been long gone, man.
Oh, hell yeah. Not only would he have been long gone, he would have been completely and utterly smeared and humiliated and blacklisted from the industry forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's absolutely some advantages there. And about the Jezebel article, Mags says, I highlighted on screen, I thought it was good. The Jezebel should be renamed as the Dumb Broad. As a woman, I approve this message. Oh, thank you.
I got one better instead of the Jezebel, the Dumbbell.
That one too. Indeed. But yeah, as Brad DL says, the story is probably getting them so many clicks. So yeah, it's probably worth it for them. Probably the smartest thing they did forever. Yeah, they may look stupid, but they got a few clicks that they otherwise wouldn't have gotten. So I'm sure there is something to that. And then we have Tiberius Monk, who says, let's ask the real question. This is one that you guys will appreciate. Where's Cobra Kai in Mortal Kombat?
Oh, finally. Finally. I was
Johnny
waiting
Lawrence
for
to be there.
Cobra Kai moment with Tom.
No mercy. No mercy. Yeah, there should be Cobra Kai in it. Why not?
I don't know. I like those characters. I kind of like. I don't really want to see Sub-Zero rip out Johnny's spine and
whatever. Johnny would kick his
like
ass. He'd call him a pussy.
Yeah. That, actually, this is true. Johnny would simply call him a pussy.
Look at this pussy. Can't even show your face.
Chosen would be great in Mortal Kombat.
Daniel-san, he just crane kick them all.
Yeah.
Actually, I take it back. I would totally like to see Cobra Kai crossover with Mortal Kombat. I mean, we can have RoboCop with Mortal Kombat.
Miyagi's hanging.
Kombat, so
Miyagi's immortal. You're right.
Miyagi's immortal, hanging out with Raiden and shit.
Yeah, he's a demon sorcerer,
just floating.
So, yeah.
This Miyagi-san is much lighter now. Ha ha.
Yeah,
no need to lose a weight.
Yeah, don't need belt from JCPenney.
JCPenney, $3.98.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Then Christopher Tock says, Andre, you really would enjoy Berserk. Check out the 90s version of the anime if you can. Hail Midnight's Edge. Well, okay, Berserk is added to the list. I'll get to it one of these days, maybe after 40k. But yeah, it's on the list. And Alpha Omega Record says, for 10 British pounds, thank you so much. We really appreciate you help keeping our lights on. And he says, I'm late, so catching up. But do you guys remember Kylie in that dreadful Street Fighter film? She looked beautiful, though, and thank God people have forgotten that little misstep in her career. I liked that movie. It was a fun, guilty pleasure. But yeah, and I don't think that she was the biggest problem of it. What do you guys think of the Street Fighter movie, the one with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
It
should have played Cage.
It is a movie that you could lose friends by.
I agree with that. It is, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah.
And you could definitely watch that with a double feature of Double Dragon.
I think that's on the roster.
I think that'd be a good show. It'd be Double Dragon and Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen the Double Dragon movie. I'd be down.
Oh, it's
for that.
fucking bad.
Yeah.
It is worse. It is probably one of the worst ones outside of that Street Fighter movie they made that I never watched with the chick from Smallville.
Yeah, I was about to say, is it worse than Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li?
That's what it's called.
That's a movie that's to lose friends to, or lose
That's what's
friends
funny
to,
is that her
absolutely.
fucking name is even in the title of that movie.
That's probably the only reason why Jezebel is aware of the character. They probably thought like, oh, here's like a video game fighter, and there's only one of them. So that's probably why they know of Chun-Li. They see her as Lana Lang. Otherwise, they would never be familiar with her.
About. Will the new Mortal Kombat have boobs? I don't know. Will it? It's a good question. It's rated R. They could, but I think in this atmosphere, probably not. Especially when we got Finish Them. So I don't know if you guys noticed that a little bit.
I didn't. What happened there?
Some people are thinking that Finish Them is the way of them being pronoun neutral. I think it was a trailer shot. I think it was just so they could show all the finishing moves in the trailer. I could be wrong though. I didn't think about it that way when I saw the trailer, but people
I hadn't noticed. But if oh my god, if it was like, okay, this is fight to the death, but we are going to respect your pronouns.
I don't know if that's the case. I'm hoping it was just a trailer shot so they could show all the multiple fatalities. That's what I got from it originally when people brought it up. I'm like, I don't know. Let's wait and see. They could be right.
I think if you are in a position where the judge or whoever says finish, either him, her, or them, or whatever, then you have bigger problems on your hands than which pronoun is used. But that's just me.
Here's one for Rob, not to skip ahead in Super Chats, but Rob Liefeld is doing a G.I. Joe comic, Rob. It's a rip-off of Mortal Kombat with Snake Eyes and Scarlet. If only it was really Mortal Kombat. I wonder if this is going to be related to the Snake Eyes movie at all. What do you think?
Probably. I mean, sounds about the time they would be ramping up the promotion for this.
And isn't that kind of what, like, yeah, something like that was all about, is like him being ostracized from his original...
Well, we all get to ostracize Henry Golding. Being Snake Eyes is too hard, mate. I can't take it no more. Suck it up there, Buttercup.
And Zontar reminds us, though, if it's from Hollywood, always assume the worst. That is correct. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. I know we had a few more Super Chats to catch up on. Did we not?
Yes, we do, indeed. We had... Tiberius Monk, who says for $5, name a fictional character you would like to see defend Earthrealm in Mortal Kombat. I choose John Wick or Johnny Lawrence of Cobra Kai.
How timely was that?
That was very timely.
I guess if I can't already, since we already picked some of the Cobra Kai and Karate Kid characters, hell, we could use a Ninja Turtle. I don't know. Who would you guys like to see?
Are they completely restricted to hand combat?
Right.
No. They, like, we've seen them can use tools, right? Because if so, the Punisher. If you can bring like some help along with him.
I don't know why, but I'm thinking, like let's go OG, non-superpowers, all that stuff, and I would go for General Maximus.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Russell Crowe style. Jack
Yeah.
some shit up.
Very good choice right there. Rob, which karate champion would you like to see in the movie?
I'll give my standard answer. Norm Macdonald.
I actually have a better answer. I know who I would want to see represent Earthrealm. Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
I misread
Tom, how about you?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Which
Question
karate
was,
champion would you like to see in?
I totally missed that. I'm sorry. Dude.
Yeah, like if you had like a fictional character that you would like to see defend Earthrealm in Mortal Kombat. And Tiberius Monk, he already suggested John Wick or Johnny Lawrence. So who would you choose of fictional characters?
Jet Li, Fearless.
Well, he's a real person, not a fictional character, though.
Well, his character.
Yeah, but Jet Li in Fearless is a
In
fictional
Fearless.
Oh,
character.
okay, all right, all right.
as
pass.
the founder of that Chinese school of martial art. He went up against all kinds of different dudes.
Yeah, in that movie, in reality, I wouldn't place too much money, but in that movie, the movie version of it would be pretty badass.
You know, besides the Ninja Turtle, Shredder in Mortal Kombat would probably be
Hell yeah, he'd be awesome. Can you imagine the fatalities that he would do, like with his built-in shredders, basically?
Maybe like Storm Shadow from for the comic book version, though, not the movie version.
Yeah, see, there you go. Now we're getting into it, Rob. Yeah, you have plenty of G.I. Joes to pick and choose from.
You know what's sad is we could have had Shredder in Mortal Kombat for years until fucking Ninja Turtles got sold to Nickelodeon.
He would have been a badass character in Mortal
Kombat. But they have done a little crossover. You know what's weird? Because they had the Ninja Turtles themselves in Injustice 2. Because they had the Batman crossover, so they brought him into the game as I think they were DLC, but they were. So that's not a bug. I can't believe they never did that. Like Shredder would fit perfectly into Mortal Kombat. It'd just be like,
seriously, he'd fit better in Mortal Kombat than he would with the Turtles.
You just shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth. You know what you're saying right now.
Okay. Well, I take it back, but he'd be a pretty good fit for.
No, but that'd be like almost like this kind of like if he got sucked into another dimension by Krang accidentally sent to Outworld or whatever.
Yeah, he'd fit right in.
That'd be cool.
We should do like all the martial artists in their prime against each other. Like
Krang in his suit would be cool too.
Krang
in his big robot guy suit.
So there's a DLC that's needed.
Yeah, and you just get the original guy to do the voice and shit. That'd be awesome.
I like Donnie Yen and Blade 2 was pretty badass.
Yeah. Blade would be awesome in a Mortal Kombat game.
Blade,
yes. Yeah, indeed.
Blade is great.
He could definitely hold his own without having to jack up his powers like Shredder.
What's Homegirl? And then Michelle Yeoh in Crouching Tiger. She was pretty amazing in that.
Shredder versus Shao Kahn, that would be epic. Yes. Who's the badass? That'd be awesome. Pee-wee Herman in Mortal Kombat.
I'm trying to use the nunchucks.
I have another one that would be fun. Deadpool.
Oh God. Batfleck in the Warehouse Batman would wreck MK, says Edward Pereno. Yeah, that's Batman wouldn't be bad. They did DC versus Mortal Kombat already. Have that game.
Yeah. Joker holding his own against Scorpion was something I was never quite able to accept, though. But hey, that's me.
I didn't catch the first part.
The Joker being able to hold his own against a Scorpion is something I never quite accepted, though. But that's me.
Well, then Superman would probably just obliterate all of them anyhow.
Exactly.
That's the problem with having Superman in any fighting game.
Yeah. He's like depowered to oblivion in his own games, like flying through rings and stuff. So
see now, standard. I think we already got the Predator in Mortal Kombat, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh, Cheech and Chong.
Oh shit! Kombat.
Yes.
You blow smoke and you got him so strong, man. That's what happens with tie stick, and he just pulls out a stick with tie and he wraps it around and pulls them out. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You smoke the shit out of his enemies.
You smoked him, man. Where's Rob when I need him?
Where is Rob?
Rob's over here. Oh man. Oh, Fuchica Pesta.
Say finish him.
Finish him.
Yeah, finish the joint, man.
Hey, man.
There we go. Okay, we're done.
All right.
I really have to see Cheech and Chong one of these days.
You've never seen... Oh, my gosh. Okay, first you got to watch Up in Smoke, then watch Nice Dreams, then probably still smoking her next movie.
Next movie.
Is there something before Up in Smoke? Because
No, it's Up in Smoke. Next movie, Nice Dreams, and
there's-
Still Smoking
there's-
is the
there's-
order, but
there's
they
the
don't really have an order to them.
Well, there's the record album.
There's the record, yeah.
I should probably send you like their greatest hits.
Is that something you begin with before the movies, or
kind of? Yes, because the characters in the movies are like based on some of the characters from the album, and then Still Smoking is basically their stage show.
Keto.
Because to me it always looked like, okay, this is the movie of something that's really pre-existing, and I'm probably not going to get the movie if I just jump straight into the movie.
You could.
Kind of like watching Firefly watching Serenity without having seen Firefly first.
Yeah, it's
don't get much out of it.
It's really the movies are really just, especially Up in Smoke, it's just an extension of their sketch Pedro and Man.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. Like, really, all you'd be getting is just kind of like the the earlier version
storyline,
all their best bits.
Yeah, and even Pee Wee Herman is in the first one. Oh no, the second one.
He's in Nice Dreams, and he might even be in another one too. I can't remember. Is he in the second
Yeah, he
one?
runs a hotel where
he's the concierge at the hotel.
Okay, so he's in two of them then. So I think he's in next movie and Nice Dreams.
Because remember, he actually goes up on the stage as Pee Wee Herman.
Well, they also have Elvira in there too as well. Yeah. She's in a couple of them because they're all a bunch of people from the Groundlings and shit are in there.
I'm gonna turn this cup into a.
Oh, that's Nice Dreams. Yeah. You want a hamburger?
Oh God.
He turns the cop, that weed turns the cop into a fucking lizard.
I mean, they would smoke. They would just literally smoke out their enemies.
No, the movies don't really have a plot, Andre. They're just kind of like setups and payoffs with jokes. Like the whole basic idea of the first movie is you have these two burnouts who go down to Mexico to bring a van back to the U.S. made of weed, and they have no idea it's made of weed, just so they can get some weed. Like that's
it.
The whole plot of the movie.
And then they end up at the Roxy, the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah, and they want to go to the Battle of the Bands. That's the only other plot. Yeah. It's just more or less just their adventure, and then the second film is kind of more of the same, which is next movie. Yeah. And then Nice Dreams is kind of still more of the same, and then like I mean they have different plots going on.
There's the one that's the stage show. They're supposed
that's still smoking. That's like one that kind of is a little different, like because they basically play themselves, and then like they do bits, and then like the first half of the movie is actually filmed skits, and then the last half of the movie is their entire stage show.
But they're the cameos are amazing because they had Tom Skerritt in the first one playing Cheech's cousin who's got a
PTSD. He's lost in Vietnam. He still thinks
Strawberry.
He's a war.
And Andre, he's got this patch on it. He's got this like this bot, like a what do you call it? A
birthmark or something.
Birthmark on his neck. Mm-hmm. And he's like Cheech is telling Chong, hey, whatever you do, man, don't look at his neck. I ain't gonna look at his neck, man.
Okay, yeah, I see where that's going.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that type of jokes, but
it's like hilarious. It's like the best bit, of course, is they're like parked in the middle of the damn road, pulled over by the cops.
Well, that's the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's the first bit of the movie, and then it's like it's just the whole bit is hilarious. Like once you get into that's like the first setup, and then once you get into that, it just kind of drags you into the movie.
Yep.
Very cool. I look forward.
It is Americanized humor. I don't know if you'll get it all, but very, very stoner humor. Very
stoner humor with the
that translates pretty well usually.
Okay, good.
So there's very few American comedies where I feel like I miss out because I'm not American. Like it happens occasionally, but generally I find that comedies tend to translate pretty well.
Well, how did you see like Wayne's World?
Yeah, but here's like the thing. I was too young for it when I saw it. I probably need to rewatch it.
It's
basically like Bill and Ted and Wayne's World, but they're stoned.
Yeah. Based off the chat, I think some Cheech and Chong retrospectives are going to be
fucking Cheech and Chong rock, man,
for our project.
Well, that sounds very cool.
I saw them live 2 years ago. They're still kicking and still smoking, man.
I thought they were not talking to each other or something.
Oh no, they got back together.
They got back together.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I believe it was Trey and Matt who got him back together, if I'm not mistaken, from South Park.
Yeah, that was nice of them.
They tricked him into getting back together, basically.
Do you know who this is? Know who this is?
No, who this is?
No, there's so many one-liners, so many setups are just so stupid.
Hey, it's me, Dave.
They're funny.
Come here, man. I got the stuff, man. Let me
Who's
in.
Dave? Dave's here.
Dave? Yeah, it's me, Dave, man. Let me in.
Yeah, well,
Dave? Yeah, it's me, man. Open the door, man. It's hot out here, man.
Oh, the cold-blooded critics.
Dave?
Americans, yeah.
Yeah, me, Dave. Open up. Dave's not here.
Oh, for God's sake, DAV, open the damn door.
You know when they did that live? Like when they did that, they recorded it at their house. Like this was before they were rich and famous. Like, so like they recorded that at Cheech's house. And so he's standing outside banging on the fucking door, screaming that shit. He's like, all the neighbors are looking at me and shit. They're like, what is going on over there, man? And he's like, and I'm over here screaming, I got the drugs, man. Let me in. Because they just recorded that shit on a little like reel to reel with 2 microphones at fucking Cheech's house.
Whenever, sorry,
They met in Canada doing stand-up.
Yeah, well, actually, what they were separate acts that opened for bands. Right, and they ended up doing like a deal together one time, and they just clicked. And so from that point on, they just did their shtick together, and they're like, we got to get this stuff down on like tape or something, man. And they did, because they didn't really have a way. It wasn't like a traditional like comedy show, you know? So yeah, it was all the skits and stuff.
And then I guess his nickname came from, they said he looked like a chicharron.
Yep.
And you know what a chicharron is, Andre?
I have no idea. You have to. Yeah, it's like some food. It sounds like, but
fried pork rind.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Chicharrone.
Yeah, it sounded like something like that.
It sounded like
it sounded like some kind of fried food thing.
And Born in East LA is actually a spin-off in a way.
Well, that was also from their stand-up.
Yes, technically it was, but it's kind of Cheech's vehicle, even though Chong is technically in the movie.
Well, it's Chong's song too. And
yeah,
the movie's was all Cheech, but also Tito is in that too.
Yeah, like that movie it's a spin-off of, and it is kind of a Cheech and Chong movie, but it isn't. It's kind of funky because, like I said, Chong is there, but he's not. You have to see the movie to get it. But that movie is actually like the most straightforward of their films. Like that's a straight story.
That was like their most mainstream movie,
and it was. Yeah, it was Cheech's most. I still probably his most popular film. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing it, and I'll let you all know what I thought of it when I do. So that should be
the best of the bunch, though, is Born in East LA. Like that is clearly the best film of all of them. Like as far as like
what the setup there is, Andre?
No, of course not.
So Cheech's character, who's Mexican American, doesn't speak Spanish, so he accidentally gets deported, but his ID is at home, and he can't get back.
Yeah, he's from East LA,
and he's from LA. He's from East LA.
All right, so that's going to be really awkward.
It's actually loosely based on a true story.
Without speaking Spanish.
It's based on the song, but the whole idea was based on this true story that Cheech read in the paper about this American guy who got deported, and they wouldn't believe that he was born in East LA.
Yeah,
he couldn't speak Spanish, nothing, and it took him like I don't know, basically a similar-ish story to get home. Like he got home through the Coyotes, but like it was this whole thing of like he didn't know what the hell to do. He had no ID, no way to prove that he was American, and all this shit. It was. So like
that sounds amazing, and now that I can't wait to see.
Like I said, of all the movies, that one's a real movie. Like
that sounds incredible. I'm gonna see that real soon. Can I begin with that one? Can I see that without having seen the others?
Yeah, probably.
And one more thing about that film, which I love, is the music, because one of the jobs that he does to raise money is he's playing in a trio in TJ. And he's trying to teach the guys how to play twist and shout, and they're like, come on, get twist and shout, right? So he's like, shake it on, baby, and then he's like, twist and shout, and then the Mexican guys, they start singing La
La
Bamba.
Bamba, because it's the same chords.
The same chords.
No, not La Bamba. I guess it is La Bamba.
Ba. Yeah, then he does a cool Jimi Hendrix homage.
Yeah, because they're also musicians on top of it. Like,
Right.
so like they do music and, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds amazing. I can't wait. Like, I'll see all of them, but like that, just on concept, that one has me intrigued.
Yes, that's the best of the films for sure.
Yeah. But moving on from there,
No. Fuck you.
Willie Woodward.
Sorry.
Willie Woodward says for $4.99. Awesome. Yeah, we really appreciate Willie and everyone else here. And Willie says, "Damn, glad I'm here catching what I can. Have lots of thoughts and love to hear what you guys think. Also, new subscriber to Critical Drinker. Like his stuff. Go away now." Drinker is awesome, and we're so grateful every time he has the time to join us. He's
now remind me, because like, isn't that the one where he's like in East LA where he's like, he said "see," yeah, like that's all he can say. Isn't that one? I think so. If I remember right, yeah. I think that was a C.
What happened?
The one character, all he can say is "C." He's like, yeah, but he said
yes. Yeah, and one of the other characters is Paul Rodriguez comes over from Mexico. He doesn't speak any English, but he's waiting for Cheech at their house, and keeps the early on. Cheech calls home, so it's like, "Hey, come to the border to get my and bring my ID." But no one's there except for Paul Rodriguez, who doesn't know any English. It's so stupid.
Oh, it's a good movie. We don't want to give it all away, though.
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, I want to.
That's a movie you'll gain friends by. That's a movie you'll gain friends by.
Mm-hmm. I look forward to seeing it.
It actually has an entire alternate ending that's on the Blu-ray as well.
Oh, I need to see that.
Yeah, the wedding scene that's not in the movie.
That song has a little message in it too, as well.
Yeah, it's a parody of Born in the USA, is what it is. But the song is really good too. Well, the song pretty much tells almost the whole movie. But
Right. Yeah.
Where were you born?
Who's the president of the United States, Rob?
Yeah, who's the president of the United States?
Why is that there?
He's not there. Oh, is that actor guy, man? He was on Death Valley Days. John Wayne.
I was muted, yeah. Oh, that's easy, man. You know, that guy who was on Death Valley Days, John Wayne. All right, let's go.
Yeah, man.
I was muted. I'm going through the whole spiel. I'm like, why can't they hear me? Oh.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Dang it.
All right, moving on. We got plenty of super chats to get through here.
Moving on. Randy Wackenfeld says, Melina is black now, presumably Kitana, for your information. Yeah, we learned that. So yeah, okay, cool. And Miguel Hernandez says, whatever happened to the Mortal Kombat webisodes? Yeah, they started really strong, but I think that they simply didn't get funding to do anymore.
I think that was the case.
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying, I think they were produced by Machinima or something like that, and I think they ran out of money.
Yeah.
They are on Blu-ray.
Yeah, they are indeed. And they're pretty decent, some of them. I don't think there's a bigger issue to it that they simply run out of money, or the Blu-rays didn't sell well enough and they didn't do another season. I don't think there's a bigger mystery to it than that.
Yeah, because what they did is they just cut all the first part together in like a movie or whatever, and they put it on disc. And then I think they did the same thing with the second season, but that's all they got out of it. It was pretty cool. It's similar to this. That's what it reminded me of when I saw this. It was like, okay, they're kind of going with that kind of a tone almost, but not quite. I mean, it's different, but similar-ish.
Yeah, because I do believe that the director or showrunner or whatever it was wanted to use that as a proof of concept for his Mortal Kombat reboot movie. That the end goal there was to do a full movie, which of course never happened. But they appear to have gone in a somewhat similar direction, because you can absolutely see the similarities between what we got in this trailer.
Oh, this is
and that Machinima series.
Because Warner owns Mortal Kombat. So that means Machinima was licensing it. So when Warner bought Machinima, there was no reason to keep it going, probably. It must not have been popular enough. That's probably the better answer. if that's the case. Because if it was popular enough, Warner would have just kept it going because they wouldn't have had to pay the license then.
Yeah, probably something like that. Anyway, it's related to money one way or the other.
Yeah.
That something run out or something.
You know, that's a movie we never got to ask Robert about that I wanted to ask him how Mortal Kombat got to New Line Cinema. I wish we had.
What Tom is talking about is our interview with the great Robert Shea. But in our defense, like that interview came together in like 45 minutes or something.
Oh, it came together in a lot more than that. But like, yeah, I mean, that's just it. You had to almost nitpick on things to talk to with Robert because guy was in the industry and he still works, sort of. I mean, he's semi-retired but produces and stuff still, as far as I know. But like, I mean, God, for almost 50 years. He practically ran New Line. I mean, he ran New Line Cinema until it got soaked up into Warner Brothers, and they basically booted him out in 2005. And he first started in 69? So 40 years at least. Wow. I mean, I don't think there's anybody else in Hollywood besides Walt Disney that you can compare to Robert Shea, and he gets so overlooked. So if you guys haven't seen that interview, check it out. I mean, that guy, he's been involved with everything that you, from your youth, from, you know, Ninja Turtles up through Lord of the Rings and Nightmare on Elm Street and everything in between. I mean, he was there.
Indeed. So yeah, check out that interview. It's in the Star Interviews playlist, and that's basically film school in a box right there. So super interesting interview.
Well, yeah, and I think he's a good model for us going forward, as what we're kind of talking about doing, because that's what he did. He's just like, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself. You know, like they didn't have the distribution that he needed to do what he wanted to do. So he's like, I'll just do it myself. And that's what he did. And then eventually started making movies himself because he didn't have movies to distribute. So it was like, there you go. Great interview. If you guys haven't checked it out, I do suggest it highly.
Indeed. And moving on from there, Blood Dragon says, check Zack Snyder's Twitter for update on Justice League. Okay, I'm doing that right now. Let's see. Zack Snyder's Justice League will be available worldwide in all markets on the same day as in the US on March 18th via on-demand, digital download, linear, or streaming. Okay, so it'll be available worldwide then. Then it'll be and then he says platform availability will depend on each territory, with the exception of China, France, Japan, where the release dates are to be decided. Okay, so if you're in France, for instance, then you do not have, then you will not get it.
I like the linear, because that means that some places are going to get physical copies first.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, as we said, some places in the world aren't going to be available. That's like funny here. First he says it will be available worldwide, and then in the second tweet, up worldwide apart from these places. So yeah, nice one.
Mr. Plague Doctor, what the hell are they going to do in Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th now? Well, Nightmare on Elm Street, I would hope that they're backing up a truckload of money to Robert Englund's house and saying, please do at least 2 more movies for us. As far as Friday the 13th go, the rights for that are in such fucking disarray right now. But they can make a regular standard Jason movie as long as they don't refer to anything from the first film. No problem. And I don't know why they haven't yet. That is completely mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, that sounds incredibly easy to get around the restrictions they have there.
Especially if you remember hotter, yeah.
Remember, you heard like they were going to take like this writers' retreat that was going to go on like this extended writers' room thing or whatever to figure out what they were going to do like here a few weeks back or years back. I thought that was ridiculous. You don't need that. Like you need like half an hour concept. Go.
It's not that hard to make a Friday the 13th movie.
No, it's
you can literally make it with $10, popsicle sticks, a hockey mask, and a couple of half-naked teenagers in the woods.
I mean, literally, we could come up with a screen story for that in less time than we've been live right now.
Oh, I've had at least a half a dozen Friday the 13th easy.
Oh yeah, it's the easiest of all franchises. It would be that one.
Because that's the thing, is you can introduce something just even remotely kind of like one of the concepts they were talking about was doing one in the snow. It's like, well, okay, fuck it, why not? We've never seen Jason in the snow before. That's the thing, is like you can still play with the woods concept. Even there's so much stuff they've never explored because we got 5 movies that were all the same shit, and then they tried to do some different stuff. They got a little wacky, even though those are the ones that people like the best. And then Jason Goes to Hell, and then we got Jason X where he goes to fucking space. I mean, they jumped the shark on that one, yes, but that's some people's, not a fan favorite, but people enjoy bits of it. But like Nightmare on Elm Street is a whole different animal, though. But if I was them, all you got to do is get Robert Englund back, and it's so easy now with green screen and what we've talked about with deep fake. You wouldn't even have to put the makeup on Robert. You just have to do it once, like Gary said, and then you just have him do the thing, and you could have him shoot like probably 3 movies in a couple of weeks, because Freddy is never that in the films that much. If you really watch the movies, like he's always usually in the background. And I think I'm trying to think, the one that he has the most screen time in, I think, is Freddy's Dead, and even that is some of it without makeup. Exactly,
which is when he's at his best. But we have a couple of more to run through here. So Thunderstorm says Supergirl is blonde. Well, not anymore. She isn't. And Master Clockwork says Wolverine is 5'3". We covered this one. And Willie Woodward says, "Yep, Andre, shorties like me are fierce AF." Yeah, indeed. We covered that already. That's like the short man syndrome, as we call it in Norway. And Spider Unlimited asks, any interest in Leslie Headland Mortal Kombat? LOL. Yeah.
She likes all the Mortal Kombats.
Yeah, exactly. She likes all of them. Her favorite character is probably Chun-Li.
Alpha, you have no idea how true that statement is, but they don't care. I could fix it.
And then Darksblade says for $5. We covered that already. That was like the screen stuff. And Stephen Otten says for $5. Hail Midnight's Edge and everyone in the chat. Joining late. Hope everyone is safe and healthy. Yeah, fingers crossed for that. Everyone take care of yourselves in trying times. And Mackenzie Lambert says, with Mortal Kombat, Detective Pikachu, and Sonic, what gaming IP do you feel is being slept on? Give me Carnival, an Evil Dead horror comedy gore fest. Yeah, okay. Which video game property do we all think is really ripe and waiting to be adapted for the big screen? Like, you all know my answer is Golden Axe.
Well, I was going to say, I'm going to probably jump a lot off of your answer, and that was games from the past that didn't necessarily have cinematic, elements to them. Because that's, again, my problem with movies nowadays. Like, if we get a Metal Gear Solid movie, I'm sure it'll be cool, but I'll be like, yeah, but the games are pretty much at this level already. So to me, I would love to see like a Donkey Kong movie, like leading into a Mario movie or something like that. Like, I didn't mind those kind of things where you don't get to really see the story play out in the game. Because nowadays you see it's all cinematic, like basically playing like Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption is like watching a movie now, almost. So yeah, I'd say go back to like the old Sega and Nintendo games, all that kind of stuff. Metroid's one people bring up all the time. I know Golden Axe is another one I agree with. Streets of Rage was a fun game. I'm sure you could come up with a movie out of that. I mean, they kind of did with Streets of Fire or whatever, but still, same difference. Like, there's all kinds of stuff you can mine there. Sonic was perfect and prime for that. So yeah, what do you guys think, Rob?
Rob is muted. So while he unmutes Paulie.
And Paulie's muted.
All right. Well, then we move on to the next one.
I'll pick for Rob. He'd have picked Metal Gear Solid, probably.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. I know him. See, he is my hetero life.
Yeah. There you go. And Dyrus says for $20, Nightline once ran a story on a video game made by terrorists to attack the US. Republicans talked about it in Senate. It was a fan video made by a teen in CA of Battlefield 2 and Team America. So yes, media is that stupid. Yeah, it's unbelievable what you can make a story of when you really feel like it. So that's a bad one, that it gets all that attention for something that was fan made. And then Mills says, will Mortal Kombat have boobs? I believe we covered that one.
We did.
Yeah.
But you never cover boobs.
No, ideally you don't, especially not on the beach in France. But yeah. And Dyrus also says for another $5, thank you so much. Rob Liefeld is doing a G.I. Joe comic. Yeah, we also covered this one, I think. It's a rip-off of Mortal Kombat with Snake Eyes and Scarlet. If only if it really was Mortal Kombat. Yeah, we covered that. But thank you so much for the question and the support, Dyrus. And Sontar says for $2 Canadian, if it's from Hollywood, always assume the worst. And D. Carre says, Johnny steps away, Stingray strolls in.
Yep.
And then
he's the chubby guy from Cobra Kai.
His name is Ralph, man.
His name is Ralph, man. That's a Cheech Chong joke.
Coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, and as for fictional characters in Mortal Kombat, Edward Pareno says Batfleck, Warehouse Batman, would wreck Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, grab that one too,
indeed. Yeah. And Eskimono Phono says Fat Steven Seagal in Mortal Kombat.
He'd eat them all. Be a quick movie.
And we also mentioned that John Harrison said Jet Li as the one would be good in Mortal Kombat. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Darksblade said the Last Dragon's Shonuff for MK. Or for Mortal Kombat. I haven't seen The Last Dragons, but I'm sure it's probably a really good pick in any event. And then we have Mills, who also wondered, have you addressed the new Supergirl casting? Yes, we did. We did about I want to say like
half hour, 45
minutes. Yeah, 45 minutes ago maybe. So yeah, we have addressed it. And 3D Honda wonders, any truth to the rumor about Robert Patz and Zoe Kravitz getting caught pumping on the Batmobile? LOL, keep up the good work, guys.
I heard about that. I believe it.
I believe it too. I haven't. I mean, there's no reason to disbelieve it. There's no reason at all. I mean, like stuff like that happens on set. We have someone we could ask probably, but yeah, if something like that gets out there, probably it's true. Because it's stuff like that happens more often than you would think. I mean, like even on the set of Judge Dredd, the 1995 movie, it was like a really awkward scene or moment for everyone in like the sound department when Stallone was getting it on with a female extra in the Judge Dredd helmet without switching off the microphone. That apparently happened.
I am the law.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yo, Adrian.
So yeah, probably true. We don't know any details, but probably it's true.
My old face.
Yeah. And then we have our very good friend Mexican Iron Man, who says for $14.99. Great show. Midnight's Edge today and tomorrow, Midnight's Edge Studios, Midnight's Edge Streaming, and Midnight's Edge Intergalactic. This was a great show this morning. Oh, thank you. And it's good with ambitions, I have to say. And in terms of video game movies that need to be made, Valiant Renegade has a really good suggestion because he says, "Where's my Legend of Zelda movie?"
Yeah, another one.
Yeah, I agree. Now there's one that could be really, really good.
I don't think that one's too far behind the Mario movie, though. I bet. I don't know if it'll be live action or animated like the Mario movie, but I bet the Mario movie is going to do very well. And Nintendo then will sigh relief, and they'll greenlight like 2 or 3 movies, and Zelda will be one of them.
Yeah, I would imagine so, because like if you look at properties that are cinematic, how many properties do they really have? I mean, like Paperboy, is that one of theirs? Like, how much can you do with that?
They don't. I mean, I know they got a chunk of Pokemon, if I remember right. So, like, that's something they've always had that's been very popular movie wise, but like that's a little bit different. Otherwise, I think they have Mario, they have Zelda, Kirby. There's a few other Nintendo. They do have a few properties they could exploit. Not nearly as many as Sega, though, believe it or not. Like, that's the thing, is Sega has a much larger...
Sega Studios, they really need to ramp up production, because they could do incredible with all of the properties they have that would lend themselves extremely well to cinematic adaptations.
Nintendo might own Metroid.
Yeah, as you see, there's one. You could do loads with that. And ST Red Wolf says that act by Stallone would have gotten him 20 years on Titan. Shameful actions for a judge. Yeah, indeed. Very nice reference to the comic right there. But yeah, sadly, but as you know, Stallone was never really a judge. So I was okay. And Emmanuel, a detective, says that today's WandaVision was just okay. Yeah, like here's the fun thing about that, because Disney have been trying to hype up this episode all week, as if it was something really special and a massive reveal or something in it. And obviously, it was just a matter of getting attention away from the Carano situation, because this episode was incredibly meh, and the reveal was lackluster beyond words, in my opinion, at least. And then Mr. Tickletrunk says, Metroid, The Sky Calls, showed the way for that one. If that's a game or something, I do not know, but yeah, Metroid is absolutely something that could be cool in a video game. So Nintendo better get on that. They absolutely should. And Bogue says for $20 Mexican, Metroid and Star Fox would be pretty good sci-fi.
Yeah, they own Star Fox too. That's right. Yep. Star Fox would make a pretty good movie.
Yeah. And Darksblade says The Last Dragon, cheesy 80s blaxploitation kung fu gold. Oh, I have to see that now. Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome when you put it that way. And with that, we are, I believe, fully caught up. And Christopher Tock wants a live-action Castlevania.
Did we get this stuff here?
Not yet. Master Clockwork says, all the martial arts talk makes me want to rewatch Kung Pao, Enter the Fist, War Black Betty Bamalam. Oh, I have to see that one too, actually. Yeah.
And then Etienne Falardo says
for $5 Canadian. Have you guys covered the new Aquaman cartoon images? No. Honestly, they must really hate the fan. No, we haven't covered them. Tom, can you bring them up on screen, mayhaps?
Do I want to?
No, I didn't ask if you wanted to. I wanted if you could.
More Cal Arts nonsense.
Oh my god, these things are horrible looking. I think the thing that everybody's kind of freaking out about is more so that I think James Wan has something to do with this. Is the bigger deal.
So the big deal is that it actually might be a little good thing about it. So you kind of like have to watch it, even though it looks horrendous. That's the problem here, right?
Just I can't believe how. Oh fuck! You haven't seen this yet, then, have you?
I've seen the pictures. Yeah, I have.
Oh, okay, then.
And they're dreadful.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, exactly.
I should have warned people if they had children in the room.
I
More-
kind of like imagine that if you really get high on various psychedelics, the world is gonna look something like that.
That would give you a fucking bad trip. You'd be freaking out. And I've never even done any psychological drugs like that.
I imagine like that's kind of like you know, like in the movie Beavis and Butthead Do America,
Exactly,
when you
yes.
have like that bad trip where like they are dying and they eat peyote or something like that, and everything is like messed up with Rob Zombie visuals. This would fit right into
Exactly.
that.
Actually, no, that's actually more artistic than this. This is just
Yeah, of course it's more artistic, but still like well, that's like the closest nightmare-inducing vision that I can think of. I mean, like, this is worse than She-Ra, isn't it?
in a way, yeah.
Those eyebrows are almost like as if there was some tracing paper on top of it, and they were like marking up some other like something else, and it seeped through
like a like a Sharpie marker,
like
yeah.
a Sharpie, and there was like a paper on top of it, and like, oh, we got to do some reworks, and they weren't even paying attention. They were like, oh, well, shit, that kind of look like eyebrows. Yeah, with it.
I noticed that Mera even has unibrows, so yeah,
Exactly, yeah.
amazing stuff. Yeah.
And I think we got this one.
Yes, we got that one. We got that
this
one.
one we got.
Yeah. The
this
next one is from Williams. No, we got that one too. Next one is from William Sova. That's the next one. And William Sova says for $10, thank you so much. Hey guys, I would like to see Friday the 13th finally tackle the mystery of Mr. Voorhees that was supposed to be teased in part 6. Also, the Dungeons and Dragons movie should be the Shadow over Mystara beat-em-ups.
Well, here's the thing about the whole Mr. Voorhees thing. Mr. Voorhees isn't really Jason's father.
I believe his full name is Elias Voorhees.
Yeah,
is that not
that's not. Yes, and he's his adopted father, but he's not his real father.
Who's the real father?
Depends on which version you go with or which lore you go with. They usually imply that he's a product of incest.
So his father is his uncle? Is that what we're saying?
His father is his mother's dad. And then like Elias kills him and then protects Mrs. Voorhees, but he's also like very abusive and shit. Like there's a few different versions of the story because it depends on whose version you go with, because different people have done different versions, and the game version I haven't gone through the whole game, and that version's, I believe they go off of that storyline. But yeah, I'm not as up on the Friday the 13th lore as I am Nightmare on Elm Street. I'd have to ask my buddy on that. Yeah. But like the version of Elias that is supposed to be, because technically he didn't have the name Elias, I don't think, until the funny thing is even though he can't really claim it, I believe Adam Marcus came up with that name, and it was originally the brother, not the father, or some shit like that. And then it all got twisted up in logic and in the history of the whole lore and everything. So yeah, I'd have to check into all that, but yeah, it's a pretty messed up background. I would love to see like them go back and kind of fix a lot of the lore. That'd be cool.
Indeed, but I think we'll be waiting a long time for that.
No, because that's the shit that's all actually in like the lawsuit, because the mother character, I think Camp Crystal Lake, young Jason, all those things are connected to what the lawsuit was about. So yeah.
So they're off limits in any event. But again, you can do a great Friday the 13th movie without having to explore too much into the past. It's like hot, half-naked teens, big man with an axe, go.
Yeah, because I think they even got the Friday the 13th name now, too, as well. Because for the longest time, New Line didn't have that. That was still sitting over at Paramount, but now I believe they own that. And that was something that Victor Miller didn't get in that deal. He wanted the name, but I don't think he got it, because that was one thing that Sean Cunningham did come up with and was able to retain.
Speaking of retain, Bogue says Earthbound would be a great adventure horror story.
I think I remember that one.
But yeah, probably it would.
If it's the one I remember, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of classic games. Yeah. Where is Half-Life movie? Didn't they do
No.
I thought they did some straight video thing though. Or which one am I thinking?
Well, if they did, it doesn't really count. If they did like some animated stuff or something, and if they did,
I think it would have been an anime if it's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that doesn't really count then, does it?
E.T. the game, the movie.
E.T. the game, the movie.
Now there's a movie.
Well, that's pretty much what,
Brilliant.
in a weird way, the angry video game nerd is. The movie.
Yeah.
For those who've seen that.
Yeah, kind of. And then I believe next one is Thunderstorm, who says Pac-Man is a real estate agent since his game's done married to a famous Hollywood actress.
Well, Miss Pac-Man, there's another one that's caught up in funky legal rights. Speaking of, because Miss Pac-Man is actually a bootleg that was bought by the real company. So there's a separate license though that go to the guys who created the game. So that's why I
remember that story.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But the game ran better than the original Pac-Man, so they bought it and put a bow on it.
Yeah. And then ST Red Wolf has some choice words on the Aquaman cartoon. Tom, you want to take that one?
Kill her with fire, 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 fire. Is it supposed to be? Oh, it's supposed to be Beavis.
Yeah.
Fire, kill it, fire, fire, fire. Fire.
Indeed. And then Alpha J, he has another comment for you. He says, Tom, The Muppet Show is now on Disney Plus. How does it make you feel now that you've canceled their subscription?
Well, I do have the first 3 seasons on DVD. I guess you are mateys?
It's hard to be green, isn't it? And Bogue says Half-Life movie comes out after Half-Life 3. Okay. Well,
I never understood the appeal of Half-Life. I'm sorry.
Remind me, is that the one they did the anime for, Rob, that came out with that one game? Or is that a different one I'm thinking of?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
And also, I'm fairly positive that Half-Life is not on the Sega Mega Drive, so then I have no idea either.
No.
Oh,
Half-Life
was it
is
Dead
so
Space?
great.
Never mind. I think it was Dead Space. Morbid Fury's right.
Half-Life's so great, so great. I'm like, really? It just seems like it plays like an average shooter to me. Just an average, like.
Is it first-person shooter?
Yeah.
Then I haven't played it. I hate first-person shooters.
I don't get what's so great about it. I honestly, I don't get it.
Unless it's a VR game, then no, because I hate the idea of not, because you don't get your full visual. I'm not getting into all that shit.
Another topic.
Yeah, well, we gone way long.
Time.
So yeah, now do we have any more super chats? You want to refresh?
No, I do believe we are fully caught up.
I just want to make sure we didn't miss any.
Yeah, no, we are fully caught up. So on that note, I would like to thank our wonderful panel for joining us today. Polly, who is still here, also Mr. H Reviews, and the Critical Drinker, who joined us for about an hour each. So thanks to them for joining, and also thanks to every single one of you in the chat. We really, really appreciate you coming to watch us. That's always brilliant. Please make sure that you do catch us regularly on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 a.m. LA time, which corresponds to 6 p.m. Central European time, and something in New York. Don't remember quite it was there. But Polly, where can people find you?
Hey, the Latino Slant. And thanks a lot to the chat. You guys are amazing. This is a great stream this morning. And tomorrow, get on over to the Latino Slant because Andre and Tom are my special guests as we have the movies to lose friends by. And these two films were picked by Andre. Dune, well, actually, Tom and Andre. Dune and Masters of the Universe.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
That's tomorrow at noon, LA time, Pacific time, and I'm always doing some really cool things every week. Next week, I think we're gonna have a little rock party, music party next Friday night. And again, thanks a lot to Midnight's Edge and to Rob as well.
That's how it usually goes.
Levántate, chico.
Yes. All right. And with that, then I want to thank everybody for joining us. And we'll see you either tomorrow. I'll be later on the Friday Night Tights, of course, probably. And then we'll see y'all sometime this weekend on other things possibly. And Latino Slant tomorrow afternoon. So don't forget to join us there.
And also, we have a regular scripted video coming in not too long, hopefully. So also be sure to check back for that.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. With that, kids, take care of yourselves and each other.